One door never closed, but another opened. She was going to escape. She laughed until she cried.
Great. Ooh, what's up, book club clubbers? This is the Nerdy Wordy Book Club, and I'm Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
I feel like we kind of messed up by branding everything with like Nerdy Nightly and Nerdy Wordy Book Club because it always sounds like it's my show.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But it does in the comments because we get some weird comments from people that are to you, but they're like talking to me.
Oh, that is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Like, oh my God, your wife. Tell your wife. And I'm like, anyway.
I mean, I don't go in the comment section, so they would kind of have to do that anyways.
I want to give Dwight Lewis a shout out for joining the Nargs.
Welcome to the Nerd Table.
And Patrick Adair, I think for the earliest someone has ever super chatted on a video before. Which was 15 minutes before we went live.
Sorry, yeah, we're good.
No, like.
Oh. Well, thank you, Patrick.
Patrick Adair says, I just got to make it through Crossroads. Once you do, I'm clearing my schedule to listen to the last battle with you guys in Atlanta. Maybe you could book Michael and Kate to read it live.
Yeah. We can totally afford that. I'm sure they would love to.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see. We'll work on it.
Should we hire voice actors to read the book to us over the course of 9 hours? Like hire like a series of voice actors to come in hour by hour?
No, I don't.
We have friends who do voices. It could be fun.
It could be fun.
Margot Sadai, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you. Hello from Canada.
Greetings from Germany. I was about to say hi in German, but my mind blanked. I don't know what it is.
Your brain was like, no.
I was about to like Dusseldorf, but that's not hello.
And you're like, no, that's...
I don't know what hello is in German, and I do know it. I just can't...
It's there somewhere. Dusseldorf is a place.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay. That one I do know, only from the producers.
What is hello in German? That's funny. Oh my God, there's so much chat, but we also have Intrepid Cogito. Did I read that right?
I think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
sometimes words are hard.
Table.
Welcome to the Nards.
Thank you.
Dirt Burb is a member for 2 months now, currently dealing with flooding at my work, so I've got you playing for my cats at home while I dig trenches. Oh no. Dirt Burb, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of rain and flooding in California, so if you are on the West Coast, stay safe. And then Sex Monkey, member for 10 months.
Let's go.
Okay, I'll start with a mic on Profesh. We learned our lesson last week.
Thank you, Monkey. We appreciate that.
And it wouldn't be a Nerdy Wordy Book Club episode if Blue did not pull some shenanigans right at the top.
Oh my goodness. Blue, thank you.
Thank you, Blue.
So much for 10 more gifted... That entire chat is going to be green, I swear.
Brett Babineau wants me to make an audiobook for the Wheel of Time. If it was legal, I would, but I think there's like rights and stuff that I can't just like make one.
I don't know.
Especially with Rosamund Pike doing hers right now, I feel like that would not be simpatico.
That's fair.
Let's move this over.
Yeah, no. I don't know about making it. You definitely couldn't sell it, but I don't even know if you could make it, to be honest.
Intrepid Cogito says, hello from BC. Going back to sleep, listen to you later.
Thank you for that super chat. Get some good sleep.
I feel you. It's 8 o'clock there.
Yeah. It's a little early. A little bit.
Good morning. Welcome to the book club. This is a show where we talk about the Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan's Intrepid series. Now I just have the word intrepid in my head. Before we get into it today, we have some housekeeping to do.
What?
I know. Y'all, this is not the thing I want to say at the top of the show, but be nice to each other in the Discord, please. Yeah. We've had some comments and some concerns. And I just want to say that if you're an asshole, we'll kick you out. I don't care. Like, I really don't. Be nice.
Yeah.
You can debate, but don't argue. And don't cross that line. If you feel like, hey, I'm posting a lot of negative stuff and maybe I'm making this not a safe space for everybody to say their opinions, don't.
Yeah, don't do that. The Discord is a place to discuss and you can have different opinions. That's fine, but please be mindful of how you discuss those because that matters.
Yeah.
It matters a lot, especially to us. There doesn't need to be any unnecessary aggressive or passive aggressive edges in there. You know, we all are here because we love the Wheel of Time, and I think that's just important to remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a heads up. We're going to... the Discord has grown to a size now where we are going to have to be a little bit more discerning about who we let in there. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be really careful. And if you're the kind of person who is making other people feel like they don't want to talk there...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
We will kick you out because it's for everyone. It's not just for people to be right.
Yeah.
It's for everyone to feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's not a competition.
And that's it.
Yeah. But if you're not a part of the Discord and you would like to have healthy, in-depth Wheel of Time... Yes, friendly Wheel of Time talks, there is a spoiler channel and a non-spoiler channel. So if you're reading along with us... Yeah. The normal channel, and then the spoilers is for where we are past. Please remember, when you are having your discussions, if you need to take it to the spoiler section, to do so. Thank you.
Also, just take the spoiler section. There were some people who were talking around some spoilers in the non-spoiler section, and I was like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, we see you. We
only have 5 books left. Uh-huh. And we, thus far, have been spoiled on exactly one thing, and it was only you.
Yeah. And it was very minimal. And
we're past the spoiler now.
Yeah.
The idea that we're going to get messed up now would be so silly to me. Because we've done a year of a Wheel of Time podcast.
And have not been spoiled.
Live every Friday for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. We've been on the Dusty Wheel twice. We did the Wheel Reads podcast.
Yeah.
We have done so much Wheel of Time content and have not been spoiled in a major way.
It's pretty incredible, I have to say.
So, it's miraculous at this point.
Thank you, mods.
Don't mess this up for us.
Yes, thank you, mods. You guys are the real MVPs of this. Truly, thank you.
James Smith, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you, James.
Hope your New Year's and Christmas was epic. Hello from work and keep staying awesome. Thank you for sharing your thoughts as always, of course. And a huge shout out to the mods.
Yes.
To the mods.
If you have emotes, if your name appears green in the chat, throw some emotes. Some hype up for the mods to say thank you.
Also, y'all, we're getting closer to JordanCon here. Mm-hmm. We're working on getting something official at JordanCon. We're not sure when that is going to happen yet.
Yes.
So stay tuned for details about that.
Yes.
But if you do see us at JordanCon with earmuffs and
shades on.
Shades on. We will be wearing those sleeping masks. And we'll hopefully have someone leading us around who can tell us when we can take it off and when we have to put it back on.
I mean, yeah, no, we'll be fine. But we are another couple things. We are working on those t-shirts for you guys, for those of you who will be at JordanCon, about where you are in the series. And, there is a message in the Discord.
Did we go to emote only mode?
No, I said emotes in chat for the mods.
Oh, there were just suddenly so many emotes that I was like, I didn't know that was on YouTube. I thought that was a Twitch thing.
Yeah. What was I saying? You posted a message about reacting if you're going to be at JordanCon.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in the announcements channel and have that there so that we don't lose that post.
Okay.
In the shenanigans that is the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you are going to be at JordanCon and you would be interested in coming to a panel, I'm going to...
It won't be called a panel.
No.
Because JordanCon does not want us to do a panel.
Yeah.
Even though we're going to put on the best panel. I'm telling you right now, JordanCon is underestimating the value of our contribution to JordanCon.
Yeah, we've got
plans, y'all. We're already building this experience 4 months out. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm a little worried that we're not going to be in a big enough room for what I want to do. That's fine. So Pat Stone just said, "Go Canada, World Juniors big win." Yeah, I didn't tweet or anything about it, but I was watching the game last night. Super proud of our boys. It's always nice when Canada wins gold in hockey because it is the sport that defines our identity. And so to those young under 20 boys, I cannot believe I am 10 years older than all of you. That hurts. But congrats. Thanks for bringing gold home. And to Czechia, I know it's been 22 years since you won the gold. But not this year.
You were very close. Good effort.
You did well. Yeah. They played really well.
Yeah, they brought it back for
They played 1 minute of really good hockey in that game. What? They scored 2 goals in 54 seconds. It was crazy. It was actually crazy. It was cool. They brought it back,
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did put a message in the announcements channel of the Discord. Please go react to that.
Yeah.
If you will be at JordanCon and you would be able to make it to some kind of panel or section that we hosted, I guess.
Jason Renner says, do a couch con. Thank you for that super chat. It will be awesome. That's what Dusty Wheel does in the lobby, right?
Something along
I don't want to
lines.
do that because I want it to be more of a show. Like, I want it to be an event.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have, like, giveaways and stuff. There's going to be, like, merch. It's going to be fun. Like, I want to, like...
Yeah,
I want to go big, you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited for this. We want to make it memorable for all of us. So
the goal is to have. There's going to be like the goal is to try and figure out a rough estimate of how many people are going to come, and then have something that like is like a piece of merch that only the people who come to that panel have. Like I want to have because I've done this. There's been so many cons I've been to in my life where you go to a panel and there's that like unique poster or like pin or hat or something that they give out at the end of the panel that only the people at that panel have. It's like a moment in time encapsulated in this like physical item.
Yeah.
And like I want to do that because it always brings like those things that I have bring me the most joy.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what that's going to be. But
we're working on it.
We're working on it. It's going to be an experience.
Yeah. I'm hoping by book club next week we'll have that t-shirt available as well.
I'm hoping so as well,
Yeah. So we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. We just have to dance around copyrights. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But Clarus. Oh my god, we're 11 minutes in already. We have not yet discussed Crossroads of Twilight.
That's nothing new for us. I don't know why you're sounding so surprised.
That's true. Crossroads of Twilight is a book.
Yeah.
That we're currently reading that is so far,
wow. How much did you put in here?
2 scoops.
That's sweet.
No, it's just what the strawberry daiquiri one tastes like.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was not expecting that. It's a book, guys. I actually like don't hate it so far. It's not my favorite, but like I'm not enjoying it. I think that while not a lot of things happened, we did get a lot of information.
Oh, no. There is a lot of information.
Yeah.
I will agree
cool
with
information.
you. There is a lot of information.
Yes.
Crossroads of Twilight is boring so far. But the reason why it's boring is Robert Jordan's fault. In such a like bizarre way. He ends book 9 with this gigantic momentum building thing, and then like a dad on a car trip who is upset that his kids are having a good time, he like turns on the e-brake and stops in the middle of the highway halfway to Disney World. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Like it is the most he came into this book with all of this momentum about this event, right? At the end of book 9, we get the cleansing of the taint. It's huge. It's
crazy.
Epic. It's one of the best chapters of the entire series, right? The second half of Crossroads of Twilight has a lot of momentum to it. And rather than start from that point that the audience is excited to be at and move forward, he starts 2 weeks earlier. This is what you already know happened to these characters. And it's a little, it's just, I was really shocked that 250 pages into a 630 page book, we're like catching up to the present still.
Yeah, I was.
And like nothing has happened.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I was really hoping that the prologue would be the moment in time that the cleansing happened, or that the channeling started.
Yes, 100%.
It's this person's perspective, it's this person's perspective, it's this person we don't know's perspective. And like the people like feel it and what that means. Like I thought that that's what the prologue would be, genuinely. I was like, it's gonna be a bunch of different perspectives and that exact moment in time.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like big events where people are like, I remember exactly where I was when this happened.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is not what we got.
We do kind of get that 250 pages later.
Kind of. We have 2 instances of it. No,
yes.
three.
Yeah.
Perrin, Fail, and Matt.
Julianne, thank you so much for
Julianne,
that super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Listening with half an ear while at work. Happy that I get to hang out for a bit. Aw.
Cheers. Happy Friday.
I don't know how you listen with half an ear, but that is a skill I feel like I could learn. Because if I could give Clarus half an ear, but still have an ear and a half for everything else I want to do, that would be awesome. Might save my marriage.
Didn't know it needed saving, but I'm gonna have to.
We're on the ropes. We're on the ropes.
Good to know. Thank you. I will write that down to remember it for later.
And so it's interesting, right? Because it's not that this is a bad book.
Mm-hmm.
It is just that it is so discordant with the momentum that was built up by the last book that it feels bad. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels boring because Robert Jordan set up this moment that feels like it should have changed everything. And so to come back with this book where nothing has changed in the first 250 pages is... It goes against reader expectation and like reader momentum in a way that, and I said this to you last night, and this might be a controversial statement, but I think Robert Jordan is like, if this was Madden, right? You know, you've never played Madden, have you? In Madden, players have rankings based on certain traits, right? Okay. And so players get a score, like a really good player is like a 98 because he has like a 10 in ball handling and a 10 in speed and maybe like an 8 in dodging or whatever. You know what I mean?
Is this like...
it's like a D&D sheet, but for people.
Oh.
So like if I was going to give Robert Jordan a like Dungeons and Dragons sheet for writing, world building is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right? Like creating a world. Randland is... eminently interesting and this huge vast world I want to explore with cultures and characters that like fascinate me. But then if you go down to that next line, which is storytelling, I don't think he's that great at it. Like I think that I think that he's like a 6. And so everything feels better.
The story that he wants to tell is incredible. How he goes about it sometimes is lacking.
I don't even think the story he wants to tell is that great.
I
think the world that story is taking place in is amazing. The story itself kind of sucks.
A battle against evil itself? I don't know.
But the problem is that that's not the story he's telling. That's the story that we will get to when we're done side questing.
Right.
But Robert Jordan kind of wrote this book the way that I play video games, in that I have to go handle every single side quest before I start the main plot.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm playing The Witcher and I get on the map and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go look at every gray question mark on the map before I go talk to Siri about what needs to happen. And that's how I play video games because that's my experience.
Yeah.
But in terms of writing, I don't want to read about the gray question marks. Those are fun to like run to on Roach, right? But they're less fun to read about characters going off and doing them.
Yeah. No, I do understand that. I do. And that's why it's tough because there are things that Robert Jordan is really incredible at. Like he has his strengths are strong, you know.
Prose 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like straight up like the actual like absolutely. His choice of words, although there is one word choice that we're going to get to in the Fail chapter that I was like, whoa.
Thank you, Jason Trainer, for 9 months at the nerd table.
Jason Trainer, joining the Nargs because of a sneeze makes us think that you have a kink, and that's A-okay.
We don't kink shame here. Cheers.
Yeah, and so it is not that this is bad. It is just that the promise of what this story is, the promise of what we thought this book was going to be about is not the book that we're getting.
Yeah, and I also think that it plays into the fact that like this will work for some people. Mm-hmm. This won't work for others, and we do know that. A lot of people say this is their least favorite.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that we're trying to keep in mind. What?
Baka Card says Rand needs to fight the devil, so he's just farming XP by saving cats and banging his girlfriends.
Guys, if having sex with men would level me up, I wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? Like that's goals right there. I see exactly why Rand is doing what he's doing.
God damn it.
What?
It's very funny. It's a good comment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so that's just kind of where I'm at. It's not that I don't like it or that I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
It just is kind of...
It's a little boring.
It's a little boring.
A little bit.
Mostly because, and we'll get into it right away here, but there's 5 straight pages. To tell them about last night.
So we were sitting there reading, and I get to the Perrin section. And there's a moment in the Perrin section, if you have this edition of the book, it's like a third of the way down page 167, where Balwer says, "May I offer 1 or 2 points on her report, my lord?" And you're like, okay, great. Next paragraph. What are those points? And we don't get Balwer's points for until page 172.
Yeah.
About halfway down the page. And I was like, okay, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. We got 5 pages of descriptor about how people are unhappy in the camp.
Yeah.
Which important information could have been this long. And that was really the moment that stood out to me. I was like, you're gonna love this spot.
I didn't read it. I'm not gonna lie.
You're like,
you
okay.
told me that happened, and I read, can I offer you some points? And then I flipped 5 pages ahead, and I started reading from when Baller talked again, and I do not feel like I missed any information.
No, you absolutely did not miss anything, except that everyone's kind of... that Perrin doesn't hold the esteem that he did, because people think he slept with Fail. Like, that's...
With Berlin.
Sorry, with Berlin, yeah. And that's, yeah.
Which, like...
That was the only information in those 5 pages, and I was like...
Crooker.
Okay.
Thanks for joining the Narcs. Cease Army says, but that's the best part. Those parent descriptions are awesome. I'm glad you think so.
Hey, if they work for you, all the power. Yeah. But, like, that was 5 pages that could have... It's like a meeting that could have been an email. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem is all of the parent chapters could have been a page. You could convey all of the information from all 3 parent chapters in a single page easily.
I don't think a single page, especially if you want to do it with any kind of nuance. But I agree that it could have been at least half or less the length that it was. I think that in parent section there is a bunch that happens between him and Berlin and with the Darkhounds and the information that he finds out, and then those interactions with the Aes Sedai.
I'm skipping over the I'm skipping over the Darkhound stuff. That's
Darkhound.
Once and this is a lot of Robert Jordan stuff. Once the characters are like doing things, it does get interesting.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of cool shit in here.
It is just his tendency to want to write what every single person your character passes clothing is before they can leave the camp. Like, he literally keeps describing the Mainar Lance's armor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we know
what it looks like.
And he doesn't just, it's not like new things are happening to it. Mm-hmm. Like, I find it interesting when Robert Jordan is talking about how, like, the Band of the Red Hand, how their outfits have changed to match Matt. Mm-hmm. That's interesting to me. What isn't interesting is repeatedly describing the same piece of armor that hasn't changed because it's a uniform, that they've been on the road with this guy for, like, months.
Yeah. It's information we already have.
Still being like, he wore his red helmet. And I'm like, I know he did. Yeah. I've been here the whole time. This is not a new character. This is not new information. At least the women changed their dresses. How these women have so many dresses with them on the road? No fucking clue.
Great question. There's a lot of silk in Randland.
But there's also a lot of Shido in Randland. But we'll get to that. But the armor of the characters who have not changed their clothes since the many times we've spent with them is the one description that I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one that definitely gets
stale. But how many plumes do they have?
Exactly. How high does the lace go?
How can I understand the book if I don't know how many plumes are on his head?
Truly.
I feel like I'm legitimately losing my mind a little bit reading these books.
You're like, wait, didn't we already? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah. So starting in the prologue.
Glimmers of the pattern.
Yes.
The prologue of Crossroads of Twilight. Guys.
It's long.
This is a really interesting prologue.
Yeah.
If you know when it's going on. I didn't, so it became mostly confusing. Yeah.
One thing that we've definitely struggled with is the timeline of when we're with these characters. Yeah. I do think that having the moment with Rand and Nynaeve and them reacting to that helped with that, but the prologue that doesn't exist. There's none of that in there, so we don't actually know when.
But we start with a new character, which we had brought up when we read the beginning of the last book or of the next book 2 weeks ago. We met Rodel Iturralde, and this started out being, this was a lot of description to start. Once he gets into the little room there, though, this got really interesting really quick. Yeah.
Definitely not what I was expecting from this section.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually know a lot about Aradomin. At least I don't feel like I do.
No, I don't feel like we know anything about it.
You know, it's a new section, new characters, new like piece of the world and piece of the puzzle that is being brought into the fray. He's cool. He's cool. This like whole plan that he has set up, very interesting. Do I completely understand how it's gonna pay off? No, not 100%.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm like, yeah, you seem really smart. You seem like you know what you're doing. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think that if moments like this, if setup like this in the prologue in the past had come back to be interesting in the book that the prologue set it up before, and like I had been conditioned by the author to know, if it's in the prologue, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
The problem is that so often the prologues are not relevant to the books they're in. That, like, I hope this comes back.
Yeah.
Because the idea here is really cool. Hey, the Sanchin will let people cross their borders. They're working with the Terraboners. You guys have Terraboner armor. Let us be Terraboners with you, and we can be Boner Bros. You know what I mean? And they can all Boner Bro together behind Sanchin lines and fuck shit up. I think, like, the concept of that is so cool. But, like, I've been burned by Robert Jordan before, so I'm like, it's so cool. I will get excited when it comes back. Yeah. But I'm not going to get excited until then.
Yeah.
Because sure. like I said about the like world building versus storytelling, the world building of this first part of the prologue is like 10 out of 10. What a cool concept. I could use a little fuel myself. You know what I mean? But we could all use a little change. And I think the Terraboners could use change more than anybody. And so I'm excited for the idea that this sets up. And I'm just, next time we see the name Rodel Iturralde, I'm going to get excited for it.
Yeah. But for right now, I'm just kind of like, okay, there's some shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
But he seems cool. He seems like a badass. So.
Yeah, he seems really awesome. I love this idea that he has the Aradomans kind of arguing, but he knows that this plan isn't going to work without the fleet, the refugee Terraboners.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a really interesting concept of he's going into this room to meet people who are essentially with Masema, right? Who are following this like mentally not fully there dude. And
he's mad.
Struggling with the concept of like, are they even going to accept this white flag that I've presented? Are they going to let me parlay? If I can use the words of Jack Sparrow. And they do. And I really appreciated, like, because we've seen a lot of people give up on their honor in this series. We've seen, the Shido have kind of thrown away any semblance of that. We've seen a lot of Masema's men do the same.
Yeah.
I liked seeing this story about these men who are following someone who I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I think Masema, not the best dude.
Yeah. I wonder why.
But they're maintaining their honor here, and they're doing the right thing for their country, and, they ultimately walk away with this very fragile piece that would be really interesting to read about when it comes back.
Yeah, absolutely. Perry Wolf, thank you for that super duper chat. I would love for someone to break down what percentage of this series is description of people, clothing, or locations.
Yeah.
I hazard a guess that the series isn't nearly as hard to condense to adapt for TV as people assume. That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. When we first started The Eye of the World, we were like, I'm sorry, how 8 seasons? How? Literally how? Yeah. And now we're like, 8 seasons? Yeah.
The problem with adapting The Wheel of Time isn't actually 8 seasons. The problem is money and scope. The problem with The Wheel of Time isn't how do you tell the story in 8 seasons, it's how do you convince Amazon to give you enough money to do it justice.
Yeah.
Because you need like Helm's Deep level scenes.
Yeah.
But the TV show does not have Helm's Deep level money.
Yeah.
And so I think like there's a real, like I would almost want the show to do A Memory of Light as a movie to hopefully make its money back because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that if you had a boatload of money to pull this off, you can condense this series down.
Yeah.
But like it's so expensive. Like Dumais Wells alone is a $50 million shoot.
Yeah.
Dumais Wells is more expensive than Battle of the Bastards, right?
Yeah.
And they shot that over 40 nights.
Especially with the magic.
Like.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Filming Dumais Wells takes 3 months.
Here's the other thing.
Minimum 3 months.
Here's the other thing. Even in a movie, I do not think you can properly capture the scale of the number of people in this world. There are 70,000 Shido.
Well, no. Let's not get to that because I will start popping off.
Okay, yeah.
If we start talking about the Shido right now, we have to get to that chapter before we start talking about the Shido.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I'm gonna lose my mind about the number of Shido in this world.
Yeah. So we get Valda.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But that's basically everything that happens with Rodell. He's super cool.
Yeah.
I love the idea of him. We'll see. We'll see when he comes back.
Yeah, for sure.
Eamon Valda is still alive somehow. Good for him.
Yeah. Good for him.
I sincerely hope Balwer gets to kill him.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? Like, if anyone should get to stab that man in the ribs, Balwer.
Yeah.
I love Balwer.
He's great.
Like, I'm, like, deeply in love with that man. Eamon Valda is just hanging out with some children of the light. Kind of.
Yeah.
Him and Asuno are just arguing about which direction to go. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah, pretty much.
We do find out that...
I wrote down in my notes, white cloak bullshit. There's 9,000 of them. That was my summary of this section.
That we find out Galad, still a white cloak, still kicking around.
But they don't give a shit about him anymore.
Well, no, they don't like him at all, because he's too charismatic.
Yeah. That's a problem.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
You can't go fucking around with no charisma.
Yeah.
You know, charisma is definitely his stat. You know what I mean?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's also apparently, like, we've seen very good with the blade, I guess.
His dexterity's super high.
Yeah.
Strength, super high.
That charisma.
Wisdom? Dump stat. I don't think he's stupid.
No, he's not stupid.
But he's not wise.
Yeah. Okay.
You can be if you end up with the White Cloaks, and you're a smart person, it's because your wisdom score you tanked it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not wise enough to see that you're a part of the problem.
Yes, for sure. He definitely got indoctrinated into the cult. And that's unfortunate, because, you know, he's not a bad dude. Mm-hmm. At least that we've seen. I don't know, maybe he comes back. But, yeah.
Maybe. When was the last time we saw Galad? Was it when they met? I think it was... This series is so long.
The last time we saw Galad was when he ran into Egwene and let them go. Egwene? No. Elaine.
Egwene. Elaine and Nynaeve.
Elaine and Nynaeve.
Yeah, when they were with
which one?
Before they joined the circus.
Yes. That was book 5, maybe, ?
Holy shit, we have not seen him in so long.
Yeah. There's just been mentions of him because we had more Gase stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat.
We have not seen Galad in half of the series we've read so far.
I know. As much as I want to see live action, the series would be much more appropriate as animated.
1,000%.
We agree. Especially when interacting with the world of dreams. Yeah, I don't know how the hell they're going to do Teleran Riyadh.
I would love if Teleran Riyadh was animated. If, like, when they step into Teleran Riyadh, the weird lighting is just, it's animated.
That would be very funny.
And it looks normal to them, but we can see that it's animated, and that's how we know it's Teleran Riyadh. If they, if there was like a real ballsy creative behind the show, something like that could happen. Based on the way that the first season shot, I don't think so. That's the kind of creativity they're playing with.
No, yeah. But that would be fun.
No, not quality of creativity. I just mean like kind.
Yeah.
The show did not feel very visually. It didn't feel like they were playing with visuals a lot. It felt very shot like television.
Yeah.
But I would love if they go into Teleran Riyadh and it's all just like a very like cool animation style, like arcane, like something different and unique.
Yeah. Obviously, they're not doing that because they, we've seen what the dream world looks like, and they didn't. I don't feel like they really did that much with it. But
if it was animated in a way that they all looked like they were like crochet or something, so that it was like the pattern, like the weaving of the pattern, there would be a really cool way to do Teleran Riyadh as this sort of place that feels made of fabric.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I dig it. William Reese, thank you for that super chat. A lot will depend on the ratings for season 2. Yeah. How much money they get.
I don't know. They've already greenlit season 3, so I feel like season 2 and 3 together.
Yeah, but I do think that, like, if a lot of people do not watch season 2, then season 3 will have less money.
I think people are going to watch it. People are watching. People are picking. So. Here's the thing. People are picking up Wheel of Time. Rings of Power got people to pick up Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. Like, I think people are going to give season 2 a chance if it ever comes out.
Maybe. I hope so. If it ever comes out.
I think it's coming. August.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just excited that it kind of looks like we might be done reading the series before season 2 comes out, so we won't have to take a break in book club for the series.
Yeah, agreed.
Valda, they want to kill all the witches. The nothing really happens, it's just a conversation. Then we cut over to Gabriel. And Gabriel, Tavain, and Logain are having a little horseback ride. It's a little cute little
going for a jaunty saunter.
And this is where I got excited. I was like, oh, we're going to see the moment in the Black Tower where Logain no longer feels the taint on side in. Mm-hmm. And I got excited. And then that didn't happen. They go for a ride. And we find out that Mazrim Taim is teaching lessons to Ashaman who do not have any Aes Sedai bonded to them because they're bad guys.
They're all dark friends.
Logain doesn't want to be part of them because Logain doesn't like Mazrim Taim. And
he's sus. Definitely sus. And then
Then they go recruiting.
Some little guy comes along and is like, heh, fuck you. And Logain is like, all right, to war! And that is basically this section.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, oh, Logain, are you fucking both of them? And Logain is like, what did you just say to me?
Yeah.
We're turning on Mazrim Taim. Nuh-uh, I'm not having none of that. And I'm like, Logain, you are doing that, though.
Yeah. This is about to get spicy.
You're upset about your own actions here.
Yeah.
Not both of them, obviously. But, it's not like Logain is innocent in this.
Yeah. Also, the whole, Gabrielle, thinking that she might love Logain was very, very uncomfy.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
I don't like it.
Don't like it.
Do you think? No. I was saying, do you think when they cleanse the taint, it could, cleanse this bond to make it less weird?
No, I don't.
I just want... I like Logain as a character. I think he's interesting, and yes. I want to like him, but the nature of this situation with these two Aes Sedai is so weird.
Yeah, I know.
And, uncomfortable in terms of storytelling that I don't want to... I want them to figure out a way to make me not feel like this is just bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be.
Yeah.
There, yeah. It's just very uncomfy because here's the thing. If Robert Jordan had never introduced the warder compelling thing, this would be far less weird. Far less weird. Yeah. But the fact that, I don't know if their actions, thoughts, or feelings are their own, or a projection or compulsion from Logain, I can't know that for sure, and she can't know that for sure. It's okay, if you've played The Witcher.
Yes.
Remember how Yennefer is I don't know if I love you because of this stupid wish thing.
Yes.
It's the same thing. I can't read this and know that what is happening is actually, her true thoughts and feelings because I know that there is a possibility that it is not, and so that's why it's very weird for me to read.
Yeah, and because it's so unclear, it's left up to us, and so I think that for some people who don't make any sort of assumption about it, it's probably not as uncomfortable.
Yeah, I want to believe that Logain is a good person. He seems like he cares about them in a humane way, and that is all fine and dandy. But that question, it still lingers there, and so it's a little uncomfy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And it's also just not important. It is weird to bring up this massive consent issue and this very weird story in something that doesn't have any plot to it yet.
Well, and I don't know if it's going to be important or a discussion, really, and so,
I'm sure that Logain has glory above his head or whatever in Min's vision, so I'm sure it will come back, but up until now, the only thing that's happened is that they've just kind of hung out at the Black Tower, and they haven't interacted with anybody else, they haven't had any goals. I don't know what Logain wants, I don't know what Tavain wants, none of these characters have desires other than Tavain and Gabriel don't want to be bonded to Logain. Mm-hmm. That is the only sort of character motivation in this story.
The other thing as well is I think that I would feel differently if this part was from Logain's perspective. And if we get Logain's perspective, I think that will help in terms of these weird relationships. If you that's what you want to call it that, but yeah, it's just a little bit weird.
I don't even need that. I need these plot lines to start having plot. I need the side questing to start, at least if you're going to cut away to these characters, give them motivations so that I can get on board with what they're doing. But like,
that's also why I wish it was from Logain's perspective, so that we knew what was going on with the Black Tower and why they're leaving. Like, we just kind of know that things are happening, but we don't really get to understand it yet. And
that gets in,
we will, I think.
That gets into a lot of the plot lines here, because we get we'll get to it, but Dira gets stabbed off panel.
Yes.
And they show up after it happens. And then Dobrain gets stabbed off panel.
Yeah.
We show up and find out that it happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in this book, of not showing us the action, but rather showing us characters coming up after it's happened and being like, I wonder who did that, and then cutting to a different perspective of somebody else coming up on something that has already happened and being like, I wonder what happened here, and then cutting to another perspective. And so rather than be in the moment with characters doing things, a lot of the reading, especially in the prologue, is characters either talking about things that are happening somewhere else, or talking about things that have just happened that they don't know what happened, and they're like, we're going to investigate this thing that the reader didn't get to read happen.
Yeah, I do wish we had been in a few more active situations, I think is what it is.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But, so they go off, and...
Logain wants to start recruiting. Yeah. He wants to run away from Masema.
Well, and I also think that he wants to have some people who are, like, loyal to him. Like, he wants to...
He wants some people who are loyal to him?
We're almost there. But we were with Two Aes Sedai first.
I do want to point out about Logain leaving, though.
Okay.
Is that Tovann and Gabriel are like, we have to go with him. I like this idea that they're like, no, like, we can't know what he's up to if we're not there.
Yeah,
and so they're like, they're still conniving within this prison that they're in a way that Gabriel and Tovann are somewhat interesting characters. I hope we get to know them, outside of just like mentions in a prologue. Like, I would like to spend a little bit more time with them.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing that's weird about this is Masema Taine's Ashaman did not bond Aes Sedai, and they're the ones we know are evil. And so it is weird that only the evil Ashaman haven't done the thing that I have the biggest problem with in the storyline.
Yeah, it is weird. But they can't risk, like, the Aes Sedai knowing that they're dark friends, right?
Except that the bond, they can tell them to do it. They could literally force the women to be dark friends based on how the bond between men and women work. That's what's weird about it to me.
Yeah, it is weird. They probably think they're, like, superior, that they're, like, too good for it or whatever, but it doesn't matter.
We don't need women.
Yeah, probably.
Yukiri. We cut over to Yukiri. She's in the White Tower. I want everything else to stop in the entire series. And I just want a straight up book about I want the Nancy Drew investigation stories of these girls in the White Tower, because this shit is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
The idea that so you have these two Aes Sedai who are investigating for Dark Friends and for Rebels at the same time. They know some of them. Like, this there's like a whole Benoit Blanc Glass Onion Knives Out story taking place in the freaking White Tower right now, and we get so little of it. And I'm like, no, hang out here. I want to hang out with these ladies as they like search for clues and like figure this out.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting like a conversation in a hallway where they tell each other the things they've already figured out.
Well, yeah, and there was definitely a lot of, and then we walked past this person, and then we walked past this person. But there was one thing that I wanted to mention, that in more than one of these POVs, there was mentions of birds flying overhead. And I don't know if that is actual birds or if that's supposed to be the Sanshin metaphor for the Rockin'. Because
the Rockin' wouldn't be fine this far.
All I'm saying is that I noticed it in a few of the POVs in the prologue, and I feel like there's a reason for it. But I don't know. That's
interesting. I didn't catch that. If it's birds, it's the Dark One's ravens. I don't think that it's. I don't think that.
Forgot he had the ravens.
The Rockins don't look like birds.
I thought from like way, way, way high up, you couldn't really tell.
They're...
Because here's the thing. One of them is like, I can't remember who it is, but one of them is like, maybe that's an eagle. Oh, I think it's Gabriel. It's like, maybe that's an eagle, but I've never been great with like birds. And eagles are big, which is why I'm like, Rockin' just really high up, question mark maybe?
The Rockins would have to be flying so far out of Abu Dar with no resupply that I don't think they would risk it.
I don't know.
Like, that's like hundreds of miles.
I'm just, like, to me, like, a raven and an eagle are very different sizes. So I was like, that wasn't my first thought. But I genuinely, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like tactically that would be really dumb on the Sanshin part. Only because...
if you got caught.
Well, and the chances of them getting shot down is not 0. And if they do, you never know what happened to them. Like, I just feel like in terms of the way that they've been expanding thus far has not seemed as penetrative. It's been more like taking land as they take it. But like, because we've had POV of the Sanshin saying that there aren't a lot of Rockin'. And so I just think that they wouldn't risk...
It's true. The Rockin' are very valuable, but it depends on... I don't know. I'm thinking it's possible.
How much information could they get from that high up? Because they can't... What would they be able to know?
You can scope landscapes and large armies, right? You know where the major cities are.
Yeah.
Because their maps and stuff are going to be completely wrong. They honestly might just be, like, sending Rockin' super duper high up to not even, like, spy, but just to make a map.
Army says scouting with your Air Force is stupid. What? No, I'm saying that, like, Rockin' can only fly... Like, Rockin' aren't planes, right? Like, they're only going to be able to fly a certain period. And they need to be supplied and fed and taken care of, and they're in short supply. So I think that flying them 3 countries over, I don't know that would be the best use of... Tarvalon is far. Like, yeah. It's not like they're near Tarvalon, because in order to get to Tarvalon...
They're not at Tarvalon. They were at the Black Tower, Camelin, and they were with... What's his face in the first chapter near Aradon.
Oh, sorry. We were just saying the curious point of view, so I thought you were saying that.
Sorry, no. I was saying previously there were 2 instances of it.
Okay.
Sorry, it was not in this section. That is my bad. They're not at the White Tower. They're at Camelin, and they would be near Aradomin, which we already know the Sanshin are at.
See, those 2 places I could buy.
Yeah.
Those 2 places I could absolutely buy. Tarvalon is too far north for me to buy the Rockin' having flown all the way up there and back.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Camelin, 100%. Yeah. Because Camelin is like probably 2... They probably
have a map.
We have a map.
I forgot about that. It will go up on the wall eventually.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to hang it yet because it's actually really heavy. Okay, so if they're in Ebu Dar, right, which is there.
Yeah.
For them to be in, like, for Rockin' to be up in Tarvalon seems crazy.
That is a lot, but halfway
But even Andor, like, even over here, you're saying that the Rockin' would have flown over Altara and Mirandy?
But they've got, all
Camelin's
of this.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a big chunk of land, right? Because there's Terabon, right? Like, Tenshika, like, this is kind of like Sanshin territory almost.
This is great. For the podcast listeners, I'm so sorry that we're doing this visual representation with the map.
No, I believe they could be in Andor, but you're right. I think Tarvalon might be, like, too far, but... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just brought it up in the Tarvalon section. I was like, there's no way Rockin' have flown all the way up here.
That was my bad.
No, you're good.
We have props today.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it happened twice. Which is why I was like, oh, I think this is intentional.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying now. I actually find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting. Yeah, having the map makes things so interesting because I keep thinking that, like, the first prologue, Rodell, is, like, somewhere down here near Ebu Dar.
Oh, yeah,
But he's up here.
Yeah.
He's so far away from Ebu Dar.
Yeah. Well, because they're coming up this way, right?
And this is Terabon, like, because they have this fully taken.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's fun.
I could see Rockin' and Andor.
Yes.
Rockin' and Andor is going to be the name of my rock and roll Wheel of Time album.
Rockin' and Andor. Sorry, y'all. That was our aside for the moment. Back to Tarvalon.
So Yukiri, they basically just are like having a conversation in a hallway.
Yeah.
Using the curves of the White Tower to hide their conversation.
I know.
Here's the thing about this section.
Mm-hmm.
The Tarvalon section right now is the most interesting story to me, other than what is going on with Rand after the cleansing of the taint. Mm-hmm. But we don't get to talk about that this week. And so this was great, but this was like a tease at something I want so much of that I almost was like, when this ended, I was like, no, stay here.
Come back.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Stay here. Like, it's so little of a good thing.
Uh-huh.
And then we cut to, like, Gawyn hanging out in a barn, and I was like, fuck off. Go back to Tarvalon. I don't care.
See, I was interested because I've been like, what the fuck happened to Gawyn? And apparently nothing really interesting. They're just hanging around outside of Tarvalon.
No, but that is 100% my point. I was like, no, go back.
Although we do know that the army has arrived.
Yeah.
And that there are Aes Sedai who are like stuck outside the White Tower.
Yes.
And that this is a problem, and that's about it. I think.
Yeah.
Did I write down anything interesting in that? No. But we do know the name of one of the Black Aja. Larissette. So I'm sure that will come back.
James Ross says, of course, African Rockin' are non-migratory. Are you making a not like Brian, what, a Holy Grail joke? Because that's very funny.
My God.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Oh, I put a star next to this. It says Katarine is there. Which one is Katarine again? Because I was like, we've seen this name before.
Sure. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
there's going to be a few characters that I'm like, is this person someone important that we've met before?
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she was
at Dumai's Wells. Okay, that's what I thought, but I can't remember which side. Oh, she was one of Aleda's. Right. Okay, thank you. I was like, I've seen this name. I know it matters. Okay, thank you.
She's in the White Tower?
I thought she was stuck outside of the White Tower.
You're in the Gawyn point of view.
Yes, in the Gawyn point of view.
Oh my God, we're in different places.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're jumping around today. You're like...
I have notes that are not the best. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we're
in the White Tower. No, really quickly. I just want to point out that Sean and Serene are talking in this section. We're gonna get to Samitsu. We're gonna get to Seychelle.
Other S names.
We're gonna get to
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we know that the one thing that we learned here is Tuon, Larissette, Black Aja.
Is the name of she's a yellow. Definitely a Black Aja confirmed. Very sus.
And so they are finding things out. I just wish that we could be with them when they find them out.
Yeah.
I just wish we could be there for the mystery.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of being there for the reveals.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like I keep watching the end of a game of Clue. We see the beginning of a game of Clue and the end of a game of Clue, and we don't get the middle of the game of Clue very often.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I would kind of like to see that more.
Well, and we know that like all the like heads of the Aja or the sitters or whatever are all like everyone's conspiring against one another. Like the White Tower is about to implode. Mm-hmm. Like they are so screwed.
Yeah. So then we do cut to Gawyn. He's like sleeping in a barn with his first lieutenant Rajar. Rajar is just a cool name. I liked it. And then he finds out that some Aes Sedai have come into this weird little village that he's in south of Tarvalon. And he's Gawyn. He wants to be in Camelin to help his sister because he thinks she's probably there by now. But is he going to go there? Probably not.
Probably not.
So Katrine Al-Rudin and Tarna Fair have arrived to talk to Narenwin. They are red Ajas.
Yes.
Or one, at least Katrine is. We also know that she's black.
Yeah.
But she's evil. And yeah.
Yeah. Bad person.
We find out that there are orders from Aleda. Don't find out what those are.
Right. Yes. Yes. We don't find that out.
There's pressing tower in the business. We don't know what that is. I'm assuming that they need to tell Aleda what happened at Dumai's Wells.
No idea.
I would assume maybe. I don't know. And then we find out that there are orders for Gawyn as well.
We don't find out
what they are.
What those are either, unfortunately.
We do find out though that Narenwin tells Gawyn that Elaine is with the rebels outside of Tarvalon, which we know isn't true.
Oh, does he say that? I think I might have missed that. Sorry.
Yeah, she says that and that Elaine won't be punished for being one of the rebels.
Oh, yes.
Because she's a novice. And that's all of that's wrong. So
yeah.
You fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you think that Gawyn goes looking for Elaine, finds Egwene, and she bonds him as her warder?
Maybe.
I feel like that's the most logical.
Because here's the thing. We know that Egwene does not have the numbers that she wants, but they're marching anyway. So if Gawyn and the younglings join them, I mean, it's weird because the younglings, I don't know if they really understand what's going on or if they just follow Gawyn. But they could definitely really help out. That would be good. However, I think that's too straightforward. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Arzu Kashefapur says, stay patient with RJ as he sets up all his dominoes. When he finally topples them, we go full throttle all the way to Memory of Light. it makes this seem really worth it. It just, I don't get as annoyed by this book on a reread. I appreciate that.
That's fair.
I'm not annoyed. I'm just like, I am a little bored.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly interested in anything. It's just a lot of information.
Totally.
And I honestly, the energy of keeping track of it in order to feel like I'm going to remember it when it comes up later is a little bit exhausting, considering the avalanche of like names and places that are so unrelated to one another that it's hard to keep them in like...
Yeah, and people have talked about using the Wheel of Time Compendium and how like helpful it is. But at the same time, like... I don't, this sounds like too hoity-toity, but like, I want an experience of just reading the books.
Yeah.
To see what my impression is with what Robert Jordan gave us in the books, and then Brandon Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I could definitely use the compendium, I think, to lay things out and have the webs connect a little easier, but also like, I would like to be able to do that by just reading the books as well. And I think if you have to have the compendium, that is a little bit weird. So I've been trying to refrain from it.
I don't think the compendium would exist if it was easier.
Wasn't necessary. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there is a... Well, Game of Thrones probably has one somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, is anyone going to make the compendium until Game of Thrones is done in 2086? It'll be finished at some point in Brandon Sanderson's lifetime.
Yeah. So
we cut to Davram Bashir.
Yes.
Our boy Bashir. This chapter to me this point of view was so hard to read, and it's not Robert Jordan's fault. I had the most dyslexic moments. We were sitting next to each other. I was in my chair and she was on the couch. And there were like 4 points during Davram Bashir's section where my brain short-circuited.
Yeah.
There was one sentence I had to read like 6 times to understand what was happening because I couldn't figure out. I just like... I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, that was funny.
I got to this point of view and my brain collapsed because I was like, where is this happening? Mm-hmm. Who's fighting who right now?
Yeah.
Nobody's fighting anybody.
No.
There are people that he sees the siege outside of Camelin that was set up at the end of the last book.
Yes, 100%. And there's a fight kind of, but not like a fight where like, you know, Elaine has told the people in the city that they're welcome to leave and you know, go off on their own and good luck to you. And so these people left late, and then the army was like taking all their stuff, and then the guards came out from the city to kind of scare them off, which was like kind of a weird interaction. So there wasn't like actually like fighting, but there's definitely a lot of tension there, and they're setting up to siege Camelin.
This got into like a weird thing though, because we have not seen Davram Bashir
in a while
since the battle with the Sanchin in the mountains, and I was like, why is he here? Like, I don't really understand what's going on here. In that Elaine told them to leave, right? All of Rand's people, she told them to leave Andor, and so they went to a hill outside the city to watch.
That's actually a good question. I actually don't know.
But like Davram, did Rand teleport him back to Andor at some point that I'm not remembering?
Back to Andor? I don't know. Maybe they haven't like fully left.
No. Davram was in the mountains fighting with Rand.
Yes. And then I guess, they all teleported out of the mountains. Correct.
To
I guess
different places, because when we get Samitsu's point of view next, Waramon is in Kyrian. So did Rand just like teleport people all over the like?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess this point of view was the most confusing to me because it's been so long since we've seen Davram, and he wasn't here, that the fact that he got teleported back to Andor and decided to he got kicked out of Camelin. And then he went to a hill to watch.
I guess they got kicked out of the city. I thought they got kicked out of like Andor. So then when they were there, I was a little bit confused. But yeah, okay, so they left the capital.
Well, and then
gotcha.
They say that like Davram is like on the road to Tarvalon, and I was like, oh, Davram's gonna meet up with Egwene, and no, they're just on the road just outside of Camelin that is the road to Tarvalon. Yeah. And so I was so confused because like, how can he see Camelin from Tarvalon?
Yeah.
But no, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, then not much happens there. Then he goes back to the camp.
There's a few interesting things though.
And,
they can't help because Elaine doesn't want them to help.
Yes.
Because she only wants her Andor people to fight because that matters.
It matters to the people.
And the Aiel with him really want to just kill people. And based on how this ends, I think they're going to have the opportunity.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
Dira is almost killed.
We know that Aramilla is the one who's leading this.
Oh, yes, the person who's contending for the throne.
Instead of
which apparently
the other two, whatever their fucking names
which apparently is, like, weird.
Yeah.
Apparently that's, like, very, very strange. So either there's some Dark Friend bullshit where the Dark One is, like, commanding them, or...
yes.
Yeah, that's...
With all of the plotting that we heard in Camelin, they're trying to take Andor.
Yeah.
The Dark Friends are trying to take Andor, and Elaine is the bastion in the way of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm worried that we're going to lose Andor. I'm worried we're going to lose Camelin. Like, I'm worried that Elaine... and I think it's going to be Elaine's fault. What I think is going to happen is that Elaine is going to be so adamant about not getting help from the outside that the Dark Friends are going to crush Andor. And that's going to be like...
That would suck.
Yeah, it would suck.
That would really suck.
Granted, it's a Robert Jordan book. She probably doesn't lose, but it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Narratively.
Yeah, I just don't know. God, how would you, like, recover from that? That's the thing, is I think Elaine has to win, Andor. Otherwise, Elaine, I don't think will ever be queen. And...
it's the only reason I think that this is going to happen is because... I don't think Elaine's queen. I don't think Andor exists, right? And the only reason for that is because of the accepted trial, where we saw a Gawyn in a destroyed Andor.
Camelin, yeah.
Destroyed Camelin, finding Rand. Like, I think that Rand is going to be pushed away to the point where he shows up too late to save Camelin because Elaine has this idea in her head that she has to do it herself. Mm-hmm. And that is going to lead to, like, the downfall of this country. Or maybe not the country, but the city, right?
Yeah.
Because and we'll get that, like, whatever that battle is that happens there where Rand gets hurt.
Yeah.
I think that because Gawyn seems to have some kind of foretelling, right, through her dream. She hasn't had a dream vision in a long time, but There was a period in these books where she did.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to get to the point where we find out that her visions in her accepted trial were more foretelling than other people's are because the, like, Terangriel interacted with her natural foretelling ability. And that moment with Rand and Camelin is, like, 100% happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like it was like some kind of prediction or metaphor for something that happens later on, so we'll find out.
But here's the thing: she literally became the Amerlin seat, and Aleda literally put her on trial. Like all of the other visions, not in the exact way. She hasn't been taken captive in the White Tower. Yeah, which might happen, but she is wanted by Aleda and the Reds. That, like, the call for her head has gone out. Yeah, she is the Amerlin seat. Every one of her visions has come 100% true, or not, like 97% true. Yeah. And so the idea that, and so now that we have, like, Andor's in trouble. Yeah. We know that the Dark Friends are there. Yep. So the Forsaken are involved, and Gawyn has a vision of Rand in a destroyed Camelin. Like, I just think Camelin's fucked.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried for Camelin as well. I honestly don't know how it's all going to go down because I think that they need Camelin. So I don't know. But it does not bode well for our main characters.
Bashir gets back to the camp. His wife was stabbed.
Yeah, was attacked. She fucked up those guys.
The fucking ballinest fucking person. She's like, why are you helping me? Go.
I told you to go find them.
I love her. Yeah. She's great.
She's fantastic. Their relationship is fascinating to me.
And then the POV ends with something with like my frustration with Robert Jordan's writing sometimes, which is that Bashir sends Tamad to, hey, remember that guy who came to talk to me earlier? Go get him and bring him back. Thanks. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Why? Because it's a tease on a tease. Who killed Dira is the tease I care about. Yeah. And then to like end it with another tease that has there's no evidence. Like there's nothing for me to figure out, right? Yeah. It's just a teasing sentence. And you're like, stop teasing me. Yeah. So with so many different things in the same POV. Yeah. Like just say who came and visited you earlier. But this like that person who came to visit me earlier, You know where they are,
I know,
right?
it's like, guys,
I was like, fuck off.
Come on.
Oh, I get it. You want like it's like J.J. Abrams' mystery box problem. Like I don't need everything to be a mystery.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Especially when the mystery of who killed or who stabbed Dira is already there and it's super interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't care who came to visit you earlier because I don't know what that's in reference to.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, what does that mean? I have no idea.
And so you like take the air out of the mystery that you set up that's cool. Who stabbed Dira and who's after you?
Yeah.
And you like put a hat on a hat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't care about that. Who stabbed Dira?
Yeah. Well, and then it comes back to later that...
Berserker says, Asmodean stabbed Dira. No. That would be amazing. That would be the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, and then we find out later that there's the whole attack on Brain thing, so getting into that POV, we're in...
Samitsu!
Kyrian.
Yeah.
Yes. We got more S names.
This is the person who I thought was the Aes Sedai that died at Shadar Logoth.
Oh.
Remember how I was like, oh, this is like the great healer girl?
Yeah, no.
No, this is the great healer girl.
Right. No one's ever been better.
Except for many people.
Well.
And she lets you know about it in this chapter. She is wildly jealous of Damar.
Yeah. She's like, can you do that healing thing that he did? And the guy, Carl? Carl's like, no, I don't heal. Are you kidding me? So we get 2 Aes Sedai. And we get a few pages of them not liking each other and kind of sizing each other up. Which I guess you can't have Aes Sedai in the same room without that happening.
This is fascinating. The idea that Seychelle helped kidnap Rand, got stilled, came back from being stilled because of... It's not Damar. I'm thinking of the football player who... is awake. They took his breathing tube out this morning, hey?
Oh, good.
Yeah, Damar Hamlin, y'all. I don't know if you follow football like me, it's been a tough week. It's been very emotional. He's up, he's speaking, which is huge. Dahmer. Oh my god, that's gonna mess me up.
Yep, Flynn.
I got Damar on the mind, y'all. Flynn. I've been thinking about him all week.
We'll go with Flynn.
Flynn.
Yeah.
Let's say Flynn. But no, good news. It's a very good day that Damar is good.
Yes.
It really messed me up this week, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
Because that hurt. But so Flynn, she's jealous of Flynn, which is fun.
Yes.
And Seychelle comes in, and she's like got this position with the wise women now because
she swore to Rand.
Yeah, but like what is it about the 3 that were stilled that came back? The wise ones are being overly nice to those 3 in particular.
Well, because the wise ones didn't punish the ones who were stilled because they believed that was like as punished and shamed as they could possibly be. So I feel like they've atoned.
Oh, like their level of like toe is so okay. That's interesting.
They have paid off their atonement for their deeds, which is why I think that the wise ones are on a more equal playing field, like not playing field, but I don't know, status, I guess. That's interesting.
I hadn't thought about that, but I really like that view of it, where it has nothing to do with them. It is about the wise ones.
They had the
cultural
ultimate
understanding of the moment.
Yeah, they had their ultimate punishment, and something that is like absolutely horrific. And so the wise ones were like, well, they've atoned for their misdeeds.
Cool. I like that.
So they're Gucci. Yeah, basically. I think. Yeah.
That's interesting. And so Seychelle, whatever. There's so
Sasha.
Fucking S names. No, don't say Sasha, because there's probably a Sasha in these books, and then we're going to get even more confused.
You're right.
Seychelle it kind of takes charge here because there's an Ogier in the kitchens.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like to know.
And so they go, so she walks in the, Samitsu, is it? Is it, well, I can't run and get ahead of her, so I have to just follow her. Like,
but Seychelle walks with, like, big strides, and so she's, like...
scurrying along.
Trying to look like she's walking, but it's very...
I was reminded of that TikTok, that, like, ha TikTok, with the weird, like, you put your face on the dress that's, like, scurrying down the hallway.
Before we get to that, really quickly, Alil Riatin...
Yeah.
Wants to take over because Torem is dead. But they don't know that yet. He's just missing, but like we know he's dead.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up to help me remember. Torem died in formatting.
Yes. And Ailil is gunning for it, and Samitsu is like, no, but Seychelle is like, yes, so whatever, however they resolve that, I guess, is whoever has the bigger penis. I mean, the bigger power.
Bigger Terangriel?
Yeah, it honestly just feels like a fucking big dick competition between all the Aes Sedai, and it's...
Yes. We're 10 books in.
Yep. Still the same. And so there is an Ogier in the kitchens with Carl. And
Carl!
Yeah.
Carl, where's your mother?
Jesus.
Carl! Yeah, so we find out that there's some, like, random Ogier who we've never met before. Psych! It's fucking Loyal! The boys are back in town! We are back! Finally. Oh my god, I fucking miss Loyal so much.
As soon as they were like, there's weird bulges in his pockets, I'm like, oh, it's Loyal in his books.
Yeah,
like, of course it is.
Of course. Oh my god, this was like, I was like clapping, I was like dancing, I was like, he's back. It's been like 3 books.
Yeah, so Carl and Loyal went to go seal off the ways.
Which they mostly did.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to tell Rand that they pretty much did that, which means that they didn't completely do that. So we'll see what those consequences are going to be.
But before we can get too much further with that, someone is in the kitchen and is like, oh my god, you guys.
Dobrain has had his head chopped off.
And so they run up to Dobrain, who has been stabbed multiple times. But Samitsu is the best healer. Yeah. And so he's good.
He might be good.
Yeah. And so someone was trying to rob him and tried to kill him.
Yeah, what was the note that was in the pocket? What did that say? Do you remember?
It was a note from Dobrain. It was a note to Dobrain from Rand.
Yes.
Allowing them to take stuff out of his rooms. They would know what it was.
Wait, from Rand?
Wasn't it like from the Dragon Reborn? Or they have like the permission of the Dragon Reborn to take whatever out of my rooms?
Shit, I should have wrote this.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the like word of the Dragon Reborn allowing them to do whatever they want.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like from Dobrain.
I might command the bearers... Oh, no, it's from Dobrain. Yeah, to remove certain items which they will know from my apartments, take them out of the Sun Palace, make them private of my rooms, keep silent, and the name of the Dragon Reborn. So do you know what the items are?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I was worried it was like the male Adam, but I don't see how that would be possible.
I have no idea. I don't know what Dobrain has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Samitsu thinks that it's like a forgery?
Yeah. I don't think it's real. It's a fake to try and get into his...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure what this item was and whether or not they got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very confused. What?
Yep.
Why are you laughing at me?
I just love that I was like, this is what's in the letter. And you're like, okay, let me find...
Well, no, I thought there was something more to it. Like, I thought I was, like, missing a part of it, but...
No, it was exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's the end of that's the prologue. It took us an hour and 13 minutes to get through the longest prologue in the series.
Yeah, nobody's surprised.
Yeah. That's it. It's a lot. It's a bunch of mysteries that, like, I hope...
yeah, wait. Who is Rosara?
No idea.
No idea? Okay. I was like, do I just forget the name? Or... Right. That was the other thing. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out at some point in the next book, maybe. Maybe not this book. Who knows?
This is the thing, right? Like, nothing in this prologue comes back in the first third of the book.
I know. I don't
in a way that I'm like,
get it.
It's so much setup for it to not be...
I just want something
relevant.
Please, Robert Jordan, can I have some more?
And I just, it's a thing where, like, look, I'm not saying that it isn't interesting, because it is interesting.
Yeah.
But, having these mysteries be set up and then not handled...
Yeah.
Like, it's happened so much that, like, it gets less interesting every time you do it.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get invested in this because I have no idea when it's going to come back.
And like, that is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, reader expectation is a really important thing to manage as an author.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the reason why these books are called The Slog is, yes, it's the years waiting, and yes, it's that, like, nothing really happens in some of these books, but I think it's also that Robert Jordan comes up with these brilliant ideas and doesn't know how to, like, execute them.
Yeah.
And so it's like the ideas are better. The setup for the idea is better than the middle, and the payoffs are pretty good, right?
Yeah.
The beginning and ends are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the middle bits are just so.
It's a little lost.
Are either not there at all, right? We don't get to watch them figure things out. In the moment. It kind of goes back to the last book. I think chapter 35 with the Chosen Call is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't have any concept of how Rand came to the idea of cleansing the taint by having the taint fight
because of the wounds in his side.
Sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like but like there's a more interesting version of this where we get to go on that journey of discovery with Rand.
Yes.
And we get to the point where we go on the journey of our main character figuring something out and accomplishing his goals on page. Mm-hmm. And this version of it where we get the mystery and then we cut away for hundreds of pages and then maybe we'll come back to it, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't...
Yeah.
And on top of that, you never really know when in the series you are. This whole prologue I thought took place after Shadar Logoth, and none of it does.
That's true, yes.
And
the timeline is a bit tough to dismantle.
And so to be in this position kind of repeatedly in these books of not really knowing when this is happening.
I think that would help a lot.
With characters who are like the 8th tier of characters who are suddenly important for one POV.
Yeah.
For a mystery that may or may not come back. Okay. Yeah. I think it's tough because I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I want to get invested, but I'm not going to until I know that we're going to touch on it again.
Yeah, 100%. And
I'm so hesitant. And it's because the last 4 books have made me hesitant.
Yeah.
In a way that I wasn't in the first 6, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's just how I feel at this point.
Yeah. We get to chapter 1, though, finally, after this much prologue.
Honestly, I think the rest of the show is going to go a lot faster because these sections, man.
Yeah. There's not a ton, I think, to really, delve into. Basically, we get Matt. Mm-hmm. Matt is feeling extremely guilty about letting the Windfinder go.
Yeah.
Because they're still fishing bodies out of the water. There was absolute and utter chaos when they left the city.
Which would have been really cool to read about.
It would have been really cool.
would have been real cool.
Yeah, it would have. But Matt is struggling with this because he thinks that part of it is his responsibility. But he does also say to himself that, either he does something and only the good guys get hurt, or he does something about it and then good and bad guys get hurt. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of deal.
Yeah.
Which I understand. I think he probably made the right choice.
Oh, 1,000%. Give them a chance. No.
Yeah, give them a chance.
If you can free people from slavery, you free people from slavery.
Yeah.
That is always the right choice.
Yeah, I'm just saying that unfortunately a lot of innocent people died, and that weighs on a person, and for Matt that's really tough to deal with. So yeah.
If you are this is going to be my advice to writers everywhere.
Take notes.
If you're going to start the chapter with, it's been 6 days since we escaped, and then you're going to flash back to the escape, don't. We know that they escaped.
Unless there's some information in there that has to be revealed in a way, totally. But yeah, knowing they escaped and then going back and reading that they escaped, I was like, okay, that's repetitive. We don't need to know it, except that Tuon was put inside of a rug, and that's it.
It's very funny that Tuon was carried out of town in a rug, but the flashback to the escape, and then it just happens.
Yeah.
There is no tension in the escape, except that they're like, oh no, are we gonna get out? And the guy's like, yeah, go. And I was like, don't write it. Just fucking cut it. We know they escaped. Yeah. It's been 6 days since they did it. If you want to write the escape, and the escape nothing's going to happen in it except they literally walk out the gates. Don't make it a flashback. Start with that, and then cut to 6 days later.
Yeah.
But you and I both had the same reaction of why would you write this? Why would you write 6 days later, he's fine. and then cut back to the moment where the guy, they get through the gate and they ride through. I was like, this is so weird. We know they're fine.
Yeah.
You've already told us they're fine. We don't need to read this.
Yeah. Arzu, thank you for that super chat. You did get it. You just didn't know the whole conversation with Herod Fell about sound principles of philosophy and science was related to this. See,
sure.
I don't even know if I would catch that on a reread. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of information given by Herod Fell that we got to see. You know, Min read a lot of his books. We still don't really know what's in those. Mm-hmm. And Rand was meeting with him kind of mostly off screen. Mm-hmm. And so I honestly don't really feel like those came into play very much. And even if that is the case, if I can't connect those dots while reading the series, then... And not even having to wait for years in between books. I think that it might be a little too transparent of a connection, personally. But thank you for the super chat. Karlak as well, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, valid criticism of Jordan's writing choices, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff you pick up on rereads. Sure. Yeah, probably.
I believe you. I believe you. But
I just think that, like, and this goes back to reader expectation. If you're going to tell us that they got out and then flash back, it has to be because the information in the flashback changes our perspective on them being out.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And if you flash back and it is just, oh yeah, they did get out, then either put the 6 days later stuff after the flashback, or don't do both things.
Yeah.
But it is the choice to be like, oh, I'm glad we escaped. And here is just 3 pages explaining that we escaped without any problems.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't a situation where where they struggle with anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're now with Val and Lucas Circus, which I definitely the bait and switch of them running away but staying close to Abu Dar. I was like, okay, interesting. I think that Val and Luca is a much bigger character than I anticipated he would be.
Well, now I want to play Val and Luca in the show.
Yeah.
Now I'm on board.
Now we're here
Val and Luca's
for it.
Cool. When we do get... First of all, there's a few things here that I think are really bizarre. Mm-hmm. First is that why are Matt and Gawyn the ones pretending to be married?
I don't know.
Bail Doman is right. Just have them be married.
Well, but no, Bail Doman has... Gawyn needs Bail Doman to be her property for some weird reason. And she won't marry him. Oh. And so they won't, I guess, pretend to be married. Very weird.
Straight up.
Very strange.
Fuck a Gawyn.
This
character sucks.
Yeah.
A Gawyn, I liked her so much at the end of Fires of Heaven? No. Whatever that book was.
Might have been.
Shadow Rising? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Fuck a Gawyn. The audacity of this woman to escape the Sanchin and then look at fucking Amathira and be like, look, I need to get out of here, but that woman should still be a slave because we took her and made her a slave is so fucking gross. Like, this character sucks.
I was really hoping to have more growth from Gawyn based on what happened with the girls. I really was. And I think that there are glimmers of that, but... Yeah, it is. She feels completely like Sanchin through and through. Like, and yeah, it was tough. When I read that section, I thought that she was just like uncomfortable with it. But the more that I think about it, she seemed like she like treats them badly. Like they like hide from her because like Amathira doesn't want to be
convinced that woman should still be a slave, that the people do not want to be around her because like fuck you. Legitimately, Gawyn is they have completely ruined Gawyn's character for me.
If we had seen a partial growth here, at least I would have been like, okay, I get it. Like she's trying. We're not all the way there yet. Mm-hmm. These kind of things take time for sure. But the fact that she doesn't really seem to be changed much at all is really, really hard to read. Like, I because I wanted to like a Gawyn and I was like, oh, she's back. We're going to have this really interesting perspective of a Sanchin who is questioning the way that they've done things for years. And now we don't really have that. And so I was a little let down.
Because the problem is her perspective on the Sanchin is only changing in relation to a very self-serving view of it, where if she needs to get out, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because she's a Guinan and she deserves safety. But the other women that she got out with should still be in captivity because that's where they belong. And like,
yeah.
I can understand her uncomfortability with the domain because they have this power that she's scared of and doesn't understand.
Yes.
But Amathera doesn't have that. Amathera was just a slave.
Yeah.
Like, Amathera is not dangerous to her. And so the idea that she has this mindset of Amathera should still be a slave, but I should get out is the most like ass backwards, like lack of character growth in this moment.
Yeah,
and
I
find
really
that
understand.
really disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why that needed to be there. I was hoping they would be like working more together. Matthew, thank you for that super chat. As a teenager reading the series, thought I had to put the effort in to understand how these things worked. It never occurred to me that RJ needed to add more information.
I would love that. I would love a little bit more information.
On certain things. I need less clothing descriptions and a little bit more, not even world building. His world building is great, but a little more active events, if that makes sense. I want to be a little bit more active in this story. That's my biggest thing, I think.
Sami says, this take is genuinely baffling to me. I don't understand how it is. I don't understand how this isn't clearly the problem with what's going on with this character at this moment. She has grown enough to say that she should escape the Sanchin, but she looks at Amathera, a woman that she helped enslave, and thinks that that woman should still be a slave because she enslaved her. And she looks at Bail Doman, who she loves, and thinks that if he is no longer property, she can't be with him anymore. Like, her character growth is only in relation to herself. Yeah. It's not in relation to her relationship with other people. She thinks that the Sanchin culture is okay, and she agrees with it, as long as it is affecting other people and not herself. She is incredibly self-serving here in a way that is, like, gross.
Yeah.
And I can't be on board with that. Like, she sucks.
Yeah.
The audacity of anyone being like, well, I enslaved that woman, and then I escaped the system that enslaved her, and so I should be allowed to be out. I should get to live my life. But that woman that I enslaved to that system that I am actively trying to escape should have remained a slave within that system is the most, like, hypocritical, gross point of view you could possibly have.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so the section that we are referring to is Amathera, like, retreats behind Gawyn, like, clearly fearful, because a Guinan shows up. She says, get your tent packed up. The show is leaving as soon as Marilyn returns. Make sure your woman doesn't give any trouble. Most lately, Thera had been a servant, Dakavale, the property of the High Lady Suroth until Gawyn stole her away. To a Guinan, stealing Dakavale was almost as bad as freeing Domain. And so it infers that, like, a Guinan doesn't believe that Amathera should be there.
And here's the thing. I think it's realistic. I understand the point of view of what Robert Jordan is writing here, of this woman who hasn't really gotten out, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that when at the end of the Nynaeve Lane Guinan relationship in that book, when they were together, it felt like she was starting to change her mind about these things. Yeah. And it felt like she was growing as a character. And the thing that I find disconcerting about it is that there's this weird whiplash of a Guinan as a character coming back into the series, where all of the character growth that we saw with her, Nynaeve and Elaine, and like finding out about Bethaman and finding out about her own ability to channel, all of that character growth that we saw in that book feels like it is gone now.
And that is my only issue with this. Like, if a Guinan was, like, a new character or something like this, I was just really hopeful that when a Guinan came back, she would give us this really interesting, unique perspective. Mm-hmm. And we don't get that. And that is just kind of a letdown in terms of this character specifically. I was so excited to like her. I was so excited for the things that she was going to bring to the story. But unfortunately, we don't really get that. And maybe we'll get that later on. But it was definitely a letdown. From this.
I just want character development. And I think that it's on that list of things Robert Jordan's good at and not good at. Character development isn't one of them.
I don't know. Sometimes he's fantastic, and it's a weird hit or miss for me. But yeah, I
think he's good at developing certain characters, and he's not good at developing others. And the ones he's less good at developing are women.
Yes.
I think that Robert Jordan has as a writer, struggles with having his female characters grow. Period. Like that, I think that there's a lot of stagnation in the emotional storytelling of the female characters in this series, in that they fall into these tropey kind of, you can define them as this one kind of way, and they don't really change. Like Nynaeve kind of has grown a little bit in 10 books.
Yeah,
but
Nynaeve has definitely.
Gawyn has.
Yeah.
But it took. A lot of the female characters don't have the same level of character development that the men do in the series.
My thing is that a lot of the female characters feel a little bit like copy paste in a way. Mm-hmm. I think that they do have things that make them unique, but like all the women have big boobs. All the women are obsessed with clothes. Mm-hmm. Like whenever they are there, it's overarching like theme of who they are as people. Which like okay for some people, absolutely 100%, but does seem to be everybody. And the way that women treat each other, like the men have a lot of variety in how they treat one another, and even the men and the women. The women are all so caught up in their hierarchical, like, snipings at each other. Like, it's like...
yeah, except men.
Except men, yeah. But, like, a lot, like,
But then Min isn't like that and has been given the place of Rand's perfect girlfriend.
Yes. A lot of the side characters and extras, and not our, like, usual women, have this, like, super competitive feel with one another, and yes, some women are like that. Like I don't want to say that. I'm just saying every time seems to be very, very, very similar in certain regards. And so that's why I think that the character development for women in the series is not as good as with some of like my favorite male characters. And so that does get a little bit grating to read, especially when we jump around to so many random female perspectives that all kind of are the same in that like background sense. So it's not my favorite, but anyways, we are with the circus.
And it's time to leave.
It's time to leave because
Val and Luca has been losing money. And he's not happy about it.
He's not happy about it. But Matt was like, hey, I'm going to pay you a bunch of money to like stay here for a little bit. And then Matt is like, okay, as soon as Tom gets here, we're getting the hell out. We're going to move on, which Val and Luca is very excited about. But also, there's some Sanchin there who are inquiring after the horses. Yeah. Because of the horse lottery, and Val and Luca has this exemption, which I feel like is going to be important, but I'm actually like not sure.
I think it's already been as important as it's going to be.
Yeah.
In the fact that they've been able to keep their horses for their escape.
Yeah. So they can keep their horses and get out.
Yeah.
And so Matt decides to go see Tuon for the first time. Mm-hmm. In what was it, 6 days, I think? Was it 6 days they've been there? I can't actually remember.
MeMonk100 says, I don't know, I could think of like 6 women that have great character growth. Dude, we are 10 books in. And there are mostly female characters in the series. That 100% is our point.
Yeah.
The fact, like that sentence, if you're in book 1 and you say that, that's like, wow, that's great. We are 3 million words into this series.
Yeah, I just
wish... fact that you're like, I can think of 6.
I just wish
there are 3,000 characters in these books.
Yes. I just wish there was like a little more nuance in the side characters, because reading them and their perspective is very much the same, trying to one up like my dick is bigger than yours competition, and then I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, some people are like that, but I wish not all of them were. I wish we had a little more variety there.
Well, and it's easy now to be like, oh yeah, Nynaeve had character growth, but if you go back and listen to this podcast, there is like 4 months of this podcast where we were like it would be great if Nynaeve could like learn from what is happening to her.
Yeah.
We need to move on. I don't want to dwell on it, but Matt goes to, everyone gathers. Matt is like, look, oh no, there's some Sanchin there, but they're not. They're there about horse stuff.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out where on the track we are.
Where we are in the line.
So Matt is like, as soon as Tom Marilyn gets back, we are going to dip.
Yeah.
They start passing that information around. He goes to see basically everybody in the camp so that we know who's there, even though we know who's there because we were with them.
Yeah, and then we finally get an interaction with Tuon.
Which, guys, okay, so we're sitting on the couch. I have to tell the story, and it's full. We're sitting on the couch, and I was editing the thumbnail. Clarisse is reading the book, and Clarisse goes, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, no. And I was like, what is happening? And she's like, she was a little bit ahead of me, and so she didn't want to tell me. And she's like, I don't know. And then she opened the book like angrily and kept reading, and she was like, oh, I should have kept reading. Okay.
Yeah, so we got to the part
was so funny.
Where Tuon is like, yes, my 14th name day or whatever is coming up. And I was like, what? But it's fine, because apparently for Sanchin,
when there's 6, they get a new name.
Something like that, I guess. I don't know about... The naming thing with the Sanchin is clearly a thing that we just don't know about. But she's actually 20. It's fine. She is an adult.
You were about to be like...
I was about to throw hands. Yeah, it's fine. Guys, she's 20. So she is an adult. It's fine. Everything is fine. We can now include her in Smut Corner. But I literally was like... Oh my God, no, please no.
Yeah, you were kind of flipping out about it.
I lost it a little bit.
Which is fair, because, Matt marrying a 14-year-old, I'd be out.
No, yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, no, I'm not doing... guys, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
It is, my biggest problem with Game of Thrones. And the thing that got around the ages in Game of Thrones to me is that every time we met another character in a sexual position who was younger, I just assumed that years were long. Because there's no, real year cycle in Game of Thrones. Yeah. Because there's no season cycle.
Yeah.
Years can be any length. Because if winter can be 9 years, you never know how old anyone actually is.
Yeah, I don't know how they... Yeah.
And so when we...
You're like, oh no, they're older. They're definitely older.
I was like, oh, Daenerys is 18.
Yeah.
They say she's 14, but for headcanon, she's 18.
She's 18, it's
And
fine.
then we met Missandei, and then Missandei and Daenerys have that weird hot tub sapphic moment, and I was like, oh, no, Missandei is 18, and Daenerys is 24.
Yeah.
Because, fuck, it's weird.
Yeah. Also, I did not... I forgot that weeks were different lengths in this...
Yeah, weeks are 10 days in Randland.
I forgot that, and I thought Robert Jordan was being bad at math by being like, oh yeah, 22 days is 2 weeks.
Here's the thing. I don't remember it ever being set up in the books. Chat told us that.
Did they?
Yeah, Chat told us at one point that a week is 10 days. I don't remember the book setting that up. It seems to be a thing, though, Chat. If that's real, then,
Yeah, I literally was like, I thought I was bad at math, and then you were like, no, they're 10-day weeks, and I was like, okay, yeah. Sure. If you say so.
Yes, because in the final chapter of this,
it's only in the glossary.
Cool. Because Fail is like, yeah, it's been 22 days, 2 weeks, and you're
I'm
like, the fuck it has been.
No, I was like, I'm so confused. I'm glad that I know that because I was literally like, wow, what happened, guys?
Okay, all right. Let's get into the big moment of the week. Arguably the most interesting thing that happens in the entire reading of this week's Wheel of Time, right?
The information that we find out?
Tuon is like, do you remember Arthur Hawkwing's face? And Matt is like, no, not me.
No.
What the? I almost threw my iPad.
Please don't do that.
For those of you who don't know, I do read on my iPad because my dyslexia, I have an easier time reading white text on a black screen than reading black text. So, I don't know why. It's weird, but I actually read a lot faster.
Yeah.
What? Is Tuon magic?
Okay.
She can't channel.
No, I think there's got to be some kind of... We talked about this.
Has she been to the Elfin?
No. Well, but maybe. I don't know about that, but there's definitely some kind of prophecy. She has to know something more about Matt.
Oh my god. Are the Elfin in the Sanchin territory?
Maybe they seem like they're on, a different plane of existence, but I don't know. I genuinely am not sure. But yeah, it's...
Slickjack says when you're reading those glossaries, pay attention to the pronunciation guides.
No.
Guys, we're 10... I'm telling you right now, we are 10 books in. They are Domain. I'm not saying Damani. They are Sanchin, not Shan-Chan.
Yeah.
There is a pronunciation guide for this podcast, and if you're not on board a year in, get on board.
Sorry about it. Michael, thank you for that super chat and for the fun when Nerdy throws his iPad. Please don't do that.
It's an iPad Pro, so I think
there's a case on it. There's a case on it. It might survive. Yeah, there's a reason it's Salad Bar and Sean, and it's because there's a lot of things that we got to keep straight in our brains.
Stone Dog Brother says she overheard Matt speaking in the old tongue.
When? Oh, maybe when he was when she was stalking him? I don't know. I think that there must be some kind of Sanshin prophecy that she knows about.
Yeah.
And then Matt has his prophecy that he knows about. And so they're going to come together. But yeah, that moment was wild. Because he's like, oh yes, I remember Arthur Hawking's face when he killed me. Good times. Man, dying sucks.
Burnt Ashaman says, this isn't the first time we've heard that Sanji get new names, but it might be the first time we've heard it as they counted as birthdays. That's what it was for me.
Yes. The naming thing is not 100% new, but that it changes their date of birth or date of being a person, I guess, that is something that has not been explained yet. I'm positive that hasn't been explained yet. Also, so it threw me off.
In terms of the character of Matt, we talked a lot in the last book about how Matt is the moral center of these books and has a decent moral compass. I appreciated that she's I'm 14. And he's oh, thank God, because there's no fucking way I'm marrying a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was Matt, you're a good dude.
Yeah.
Matt Coffin is the hero we do not deserve, but God damn it, do we need him.
He is the best person.
And then when she's 20, he's oh, fuck, I could see myself marrying a 20-year-old. And so I at least appreciate that in this situation, Matt wasn't 14. Oh, no, that's old enough to marry, because that would have been creepy.
Yeah.
Even though realistic for the time period that this is set in, right?
Yep.
We got married at 14. I acknowledge that. I do not want to read a book about a 14-year-old getting married.
Yeah.
Unless it's a historical, unless it's about
a thing that happened, and you can't change the past.
There's a way to write that book. I do not want to read that fantasy book.
Yeah.
And like I said, it is the thing that put me off Game of Thrones. It is the thing that made me uncomfortable about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is being and then this 14-year-old girl and this 9-year-old girl have sex in a bathtub, and I'm I don't want to read that.
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
Okay, no thank you. 18, legal age of consent, please. Thank you.
So Jack is how old was Juliet? Romeo and Juliet takes place 18. In the real world.
Yeah, they're 18 in my brain.
But no. But here's why it's different to me. Romeo and Juliet takes place in the real world.
At a time.
In a time period where that was what was happening.
Yeah, and you're okay, that's what happened.
If you want to write a fantasy novel where I'm having fun in a fantasy world, or, and I will say this too, if you update Romeo and Juliet, if you're we're going to do Romeo and Juliet in 2022, then Juliet has to be 22. Sorry, in 2022. It's 2023 now. If you're going to update it and tell it not in its original writing...
We would like it to be age of consent, please, and thank you very
much.
Juliet
cannot be 14. The only time Juliet can be 14 is in the original, if you're going to do it exactly as written, in the original time period.
Which, we understand.
Which is just reality.
But it is still uncomfortable.
I don't want to read about that in a fantasy book.
Yeah.
And if you are, using fantasy as a backdrop to write about underage kids having sex... That's fucking weird to me.
It is, it's a little strange.
It is a fantasy world. It can be whatever we want it to be. We don't have to write kids shit into it.
Yeah. I don't, yeah.
We're making it all up anyway.
No kids.
Have them be adults,
no
please.
No kids.
That's my point.
No kid stuff, please. Thank you. I just don't want to read about it. Yeah. I'm good. I'm all right. It makes me feel fucking weird.
Oh, matter, I will happily call it George R. R. Martin. There's weird shit in those books.
There is weird shit in those books.
I didn't think about when I was 10 reading those books. And 10 is too young to read those books, I'll be honest. But when I was 10 reading those books, didn't think about it. Now that I'm 30, I'm I don't want to read about the 14-year-old girl and the 9-year-old girl because that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I have a niece who's 6. I don't want to think about this. Please make them all adults, for the love of God. And I'm so glad the show did. In my head, the age of everyone in those books now is the age of the characters on the show because I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just for safety. Just make everybody 18. Thank you. It makes me feel better about myself. Anyways, so we get this conversation with Tuon, and Tuon does this weird prophecy thing, and they're very confused.
It's so cool.
Yes, very cool. She keeps calling him Toy, which is very weird. Don't like that. Tuon kind of seems weird.
Which is especially weird because Tuon is told in her first interaction with Matt that he was never property. And so the fact that she calls him toy is extra weird because
she's probably pissed that he like kidnapped her, and so I can understand like belittling the person who kidnapped me.
But she doesn't seem pissed that she kidnapped him. She's really on board. She's never been happier. She's like, she's smiling, she's game. She's like, let's go, let's get kidnapped.
In her head, she's like, how can I use this to my advantage? Because there's always this contest for the throne or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I think she's just like trying to be a smart tactician. But I don't think she's like happy about being kidnapped.
No, I disagree. And the reason why I disagree, because if you're a patron or a member, you can go listen to or watch our reaction to episode 4.
Yeah.
Chapter 4 of this book.
Yeah.
Furyk says that she's run away twice before.
I know.
I think she's bored. I think she's like, oh, this will be fun. Let's go. I think that's why Solutia is so on board, is I think that Solutia will do anything for her. And I think that Tuon is like, I'm not going to be queen for like 7 years. I might as well, like, let's go on an adventure.
Have some fun. Yeah.
I honestly think that I love that. Matt was like, that's my wife. And she was like, all right, let's do this.
Let's see where this goes.
Because rich people are like this. Mm-hmm. Rich people, royalty, they do dumb shit because what is life to them? They're like, oh, God, you know what? Like, I can have whatever I want.
Yeah.
Let's do something different. Mm-hmm. I genuinely think she's like, this is great.
Yeah.
I could sit in the palace and be bored out of my fucking mind having to deal with Suroth.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
she's like, whatever Tuon says goes.
Let's get kidnapped.
Sure.
Let's go.
We're going on an adventure.
Solutia, Rantalmore's right. Solutia is ride or die.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
And I'm kind of here for it.
I can get behind that.
I'm hopeful that this storyline is going to be that like Tuon enjoys getting kidnapped, and in being kidnapped learns that like the Sanchin are the worst and takes over the Crystal Throne. And like the story that we're telling here is that like exposing this rich girl to other cultures will make her realize that slavery is bad and she'll end slavery within the Sanchin.
Look, that would be nice, but I don't.
Fingers crossed.
You know what? I'm gonna be optimistic that that's where we're going as well. Yeah, but yeah, I love that we find out she's been kidnapped twice before. Or not kidnapped, but she's run away. Like she just arranged her own funeral a couple times for fun. I love it. I think it's hilarious. And then what?
No, Albino says, is ride or die a reduced version of fuck, marry, kill? No, ride or die is like one person who is with you to the end.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Thelma and Louise were ride or dies.
Ride or die, literally.
Like you're literally like, we're on this journey together or we're dead. There's no version of this where we separate because I'm here for you no matter what you do.
Yep. But Tom shows up.
Yes, Tom shows up.
And Tom is like, hey, Tylan got her head ripped off. Unfortunately, the golem killed her.
While she was tied up.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. Look.
It's brutal.
I'm not cheering for it, but at the same time, like...
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's unfortunate.
Oof.
Yeah, so Tylan is dead. The golem was definitely there that night, probably looking for Matt, so Matt's got that lucky streak. Always and forever, that lucky streak.
Except now he's taken the emotional damage of, I tied up a woman so that she could have her.
I know, like Matt cannot catch a break, no matter what he does, and it's devastating.
All Matt wants to do is live in a tavern, playing dice games and fucking hot women. And instead, Matt is getting fucked over by life so hard.
Yeah. Poor Matt, guys.
It's kind of crazy.
Matt needs a vacation.
Seriously, Matt needs to go to Jamaica, like...
Yes. Exactly. Where are we? Oh, Tuon also agrees, if Matt keeps his word, that she will not do anything to hinder him, and Matt is very confused by this.
Yeah.
And this is the moment where Rand starts channeling...
Burnt Ashaman Sen says, still thinks she got off easy. Here's the thing. The karmic end of Tylan has nothing to do with Matt, so it just isn't really relevant.
It just puts more trauma onto Matt.
Yeah, and so which is
unfortunate, but...
The problem with the ending of it is that...
I don't feel bad.
It hurts Matt more than... Like, he doesn't get to have any closure or, like, catharsis with what happened to him.
Yeah.
And so from a story perspective, it is just wiping her off the board, but it doesn't actually, like, narratively help the emotional state of the character that she harmed.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't think she got off easy. I think that she died off page in a way that is unrelated to the plot moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, because now Matt has this additional guilt, which she doesn't deserve. Arzu, thank you for that super chat. I'm evil. I totally cheered when Tylan died. It's fine. You're not the only one. It's all good. I understand. Perry Wolf as well, thank you for the super chat. This is why we were laughing last week whenever you guys said Tylan got away scot-free. Fair.
Yeah, fair.
We hadn't got there yet.
She dies a gruesome death.
Yeah, that sucks. You know, I'm gonna say that is an unfortunate way to go.
And
Hopefully it was quick.
And her actions do get her there. She is tied up under the bed because of how she treated Matt. So like it is related to her actions in a way that I'm being a little unfair to. But the unfortunate side of it is that it just hurts Matt more.
Yeah.
Than it, like, there's no catharsis in it. And so it just is like,
yeah.
I don't care about Tylan. Her dying doesn't matter to me. I care about Matt a lot. And so her death hurting him hurts me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I love him. And I think that he deserves to not feel guilty. Like, I would rather she was fine because I think that it would be better for Matt's mental state.
Yeah.
And he's the only person in this situation I care about.
Yeah.
And so, like, him being hurt more hurts me, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Matt.
Because I love him. He, honestly, is becoming my favorite character in the series.
Oh, 100%.
As much as I love Perrin, I don't care about Perrin's storyline.
His stuff is tough
and
to get
so, through. it hurts to see Matt hurt.
We get to chapter 4, which is as a reaction for those of you who are patrons and members. But we find Kareed, who is not Kadir. Just so we're 100% clear on that one.
Different characters.
Because, god damn it, my brain. Kadir, okay, so I wanted to touch on a few things about this one.
Kashef, thank you so much for that super chat. Robert Jordan, how can I hurt my MCs today?
That's either main characters or Matt Cothins. And I appreciate that it is both. So thank you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Thank you, Arzu.
Oh, you're so smart. I love you.
Sure. No. I'm doing my best here. So Kareed must be a new member of the Death Watch, right? Because he only got his award for his, or not new member of the Death Watch. I'm sorry, the Captain General? Is that what he's called?
Yeah, he got promoted after we met him. He
got promoted after fighting Rand in the mountains.
Yes, because he was the only he was the only leader in all of that saved any of his men.
Right. Okay, so yes, because it was said he was awarded that while fighting Ashman, and then I was very confused because like, then he has to be like a brand new captain.
Yes.
But he's been on like very high like tier level guard.
He's still Death Watch.
He's still Death Watch,
or Death Watch.
Banner General, thank you. Yes. Okay. So he was awarded that while fighting the Ashman. I just wanted to talk that through so that it was clear in my brain because I was very confused.
I also love that they're like, hey, you got your ass kicked by the Ashaman, but you got your ass kicked less than everybody else. So can you come up with our plan to fight Aes Sedai? And
Pretty much. What the fuck is what do you think the silver bowl is that was supposed to be kept out of sight?
It's the skull.
Uh-huh. Why, though? Like, why, what is that importance referencing to? Like, why,
I don't know.
Why is it supposed to be kept out of sight?
I don't know.
Do we know anything about ram's horns as, like, a symbol within not the Aes Sedai, the Sanshin, or anything?
I think it will. I think the reason why this was the audiobook chapter that some people wanted in the poll is because I don't think none of this made sense to me the first time through, but I think that it's going to be relevant in this book. And I think that this is a chapter that sets up a lot for this book, that we'll go back to that audiobook reaction and be like, why didn't we, oh my God, we didn't know. Like, there's big stuff in here. Okay,
cool. Yeah, I was reading it and I was like, why is this supposed to be kept out of sight? I don't really understand.
I'm with chat. I thought it was just because drinking out of a human head is like a weird thing to do.
I mean, I don't know. They're fucking Sanshin. Like,
That's true.
It's weird. Whatever they think is weird and not weird is very confusing to me. So
yeah.
I was like, this seems like it's important, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just that it's a skull. I guess.
Moore shows up, and Moore is basically like, hey.
Not Fedwin Moore.
No, not Fedwin Moore. This is somebody else.
Seeker Moore.
Fedwin. God damn it! Now you said
Sorry,
Fedwin Moore. So Moore shows up and is like, "Hey, okay. So here's the thing. Y'all put this on the chapter reaction list, and I was like, why? And so I kept waiting for like there to be a shocking reveal, and the entire chapter, I was like, oh, Furyk is going to be Tuon's dad. I was convinced the entire time that the reveal of this chapter was going to be that Furyk is Tuon's dad. Because And it was going to be like an Elaine situation where like he was the like consort to the Empress. And the reason I thought that is because this whole chapter more is like you kept trying to petition to be her guard, like all of these times. You had this relationship with Tuon that is considered inappropriate. And I thought more was going to be like, look, let's cut to the chase. I know you fucked to the Empress. I know Tuon's your daughter.
I was not on that train at all. Holy shit.
The entire chapter, that's what I thought this was going to be about. And then at the end, they're like, so, are you going to help? And he's like, yeah, I'll go find her. The entire time.
Huh.
The entire time, I was like, oh, Ferrick's the dad. This makes so much sense.
Yeah,
the big reveal is going to be that he's the, like, inappropriate father of Tuon, and that, like, Moore knows the secret.
This is now a soap opera.
No, but I don't think that's soap opera. I think, if the Sanchin found out that Ferrick was her dad, she can't be the queen of the Sanchin. Because it would have been shameful for the Empress to sleep with. It's sort of like how the Sanchin have all these secrets, right? Of like the Domain and the Soldams can both channel, and that it's just how powerful you are. And that like another secret was going to be the Empress was fucking her servant and had a baby with him. And I thought it was going to be this big reveal, and then it wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fair.
But that only happened
not thinking that.
because I thought that there was a big reveal in this chapter.
Yeah.
Because people wanted us to listen to it. Because the second half of this chapter is super interesting, but it's not reaction worthy.
Yeah. There was no like big moments in it, but we do get a lot of really cool information, which I think is fun. So yeah.
So then he leaves. He. And if you watch a reaction, I'm literally like, how the fuck did they get all these people out of the city? Yeah. He's like sneaking out of town, and then he goes into a grove, and
he's got 20 Ogier. 20 of them.
20 Ogier.
They're still called gardeners, even though they're part of the Death Watch Guard.
No, they're gardeners because they chop. No. They trim hedges, right? Because they're gardeners, but those hedges are people's heads. They trim hedges. They have big axes. They're called Ogier gardeners, but they are soldiers. They're out here, yeah.
Okay, all right. For Daddy, thank you for that super duper chat. If Ferrick was her dad, that would make Crossroads
of Twilight 100 times more interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, that would have been a fun reveal.
People. And Bryce and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
I want the Ogier Gardener fights, and I cannot wait for Loyal to have to, like, fight the other Ogier.
Yeah.
I want that scene so bad.
I'm scared for Loyal. But, they're all gonna go around trying to find Tuon.
And they have Melon with them, who is the Aes Sedai, and this is wild. So Melon is, like, one of the, like, earliest characters from these books. Because from The Great Hunt,
yes,
she was taken to Sanchin, trained in Sanchin, and then brought back. And when we saw her in The Great Hunt, she was so she was resisting training so hard, and now she's like the perfect domain, which is fucking weird. It's fucking weird. Yeah, and I feel so bad for her.
I do not like it.
But she's got to be the first character to go to Sanchin. Oh, well, I mean, Rand and Aviendha did, obviously. But the first character to interact. Like, I hope we have scenes with her where she reveals to people what Sanchin is like. From the perspective of a Randlander. Because she's the only character that has that perspective in the books right now.
Yeah.
A Randlander who went to Sanchin and came back, right?
Yeah. Brentachman wants to know if we ever would have guessed that Amenthera was Julian's girlfriend last book.
No, because we don't see her with Suroth. Oh no, we do see her with Suroth.
Well, no, yeah, we see her there.
No, we do. Yeah,
I just assumed it was like. I don't even know what I assumed. To be honest,
I thought it was going to be a domain.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was going to be one of the Aes Sedai who, because Julian knows them already, so I thought it was going to be that. But I like that it's Amenthera because
it brings her back into the story.
Well, and I was devastated when she was taken as a slave, so I'm just happy that she's free from slavery now. Like that makes me.
Yes, that is nice.
It sucked when she was that scene where she was brought into the room to dance for them. Like that sucked. And so the fact that she's free now is good. It makes me happy.
Yeah, 100%. Should we move on to chapter 5?
Sarmi says she's not herself. I think talking about Melon, I think getting her POV would be weird at best. Like getting her POV would be tough, but I think like her talking, just like having one of our characters get to talk to her about what Sanchin is like, because I want to know what Sanchin is like as a country, so I'm curious.
Yeah. Chapter 5, we get Perrin again. Mm-hmm. Perrin is back again. We get a little wolf dream where he smells things that smell something that's even worse than a Neverborn or a Murdral.
Yeah.
Which we find out very quickly that it's the Darkhounds.
Yeah, another
Shadow
thing.
Brothers.
Back after like 5 books. It's been a minute.
Yeah, Darkhounds are back, baby.
And we learn a lot of, like, there's a lot of Darkhound information in this chapter, which is interesting. We get the, like, there's 7 or 13 or 9 packs.
7, 13, 9, some kind of odd number.
They eat the souls of other wolves and then poop out new Darkhound babies. Like, that is a reproduction method that I am not used to.
I don't know if that's exactly how that works, but basically, yeah.
Is this how Slayer became Slayer?
Because he was eaten by a golem and pooped out?
Were Isam and Luke both eaten by Darkhounds? And then when they refabricated into a Darkhound the way that other Darkhounds do, their dark souls were mixed together. And so Isam and Luke literally became Isam and Luke by being Darkhound babies.
I don't think so. I'm going to say probably not.
But then why do they have Shadow Brother abilities? They can't channel, but they can cross through Tel'aran'rhiod Riyadh like a channeler.
Yeah.
They like behave with the similar ability to Perrin. They were introduced as having similar abilities to Perrin, but they're the like dark version of that. So I don't think
why would a Darkhound poop out a person though?
Why does Perrin ask? Perrin is like in this chapter when he's talking to the wolves, he's like, can the Darkhounds do this to a person?
Oh, to Elias, and Elias is like, meow.
Oh yeah, to Elias. My question is, Perrin asking that question made me be like, oh my god, is Slayer a Darkhound baby? And they sucked in the souls of Isam and Luke, and because
they were both the same wolf brothers.
To Shadow Brother Slayer. I don't know that I don't think it's that crazy.
You know,
I think it's 100% possible.
I'm not. It honestly could be possible. Yeah.
I think it's 100% possible.
Yeah, if they were like Perrin and Elias, both of them, they were like.
Yeah.
No, okay, but here's the thing. The wolves talk about the fact that Elias Longtooth is the first one in a long, long time. Who
learned how to speak with them? Yeah.
Oh, so you think they were other, like, potential ones?
Well, we've met other ones, right?
Oh, that's true.
We met that guy who went crazy and was, like, full wolf.
We did.
Elias Longtooth he's the first one to, like, interact with them successfully in the way that he has. But he's not the only wolf brother. And I think that Luke and Isam were both evil. Like, I don't think the wolves were, like, simpatico with them because they were bad guys. Even before they became Slayer together. So I think that, I think that their souls were sucked. And then they were
pooped out from Darkhounds. Okay, you know what?
But they were pooped out as one person who has the ability to turn into each other. The Slayer shit in this is so insane, and it's not even important. It is such a, it is the 19th detail of these books, and it is so crazy. Remember when he was in a half a chapter last book, and then we haven't seen him again?
Yeah, I you know what? I like your theory. It could be possible. We genuinely do not know how Slayer came to be, unless you know what, chat. You know what? We probably have already been told, and we missed it somewhere in these books.
So we get there's a lot of description here. I'm gonna run through it really fast just to get past it.
Yeah.
Perrin fucked up and he kept jumping and jumping and jumping and didn't realize they probably turned. And so they've been kind of like, they followed the wrong path for a few days.
Yeah.
Then they had to bounce back.
He got a little hot-headed.
And so it's been about 9 days. It's been 22 days for Fayul. Oh no, they were going the wrong direction for 9 days.
Yeah.
So then they bounced back to where they had been 2 days in, and now they're on the right path.
Yeah, because the Shido keep being very sporadic. So that's not the right word. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean. And so so Perrin was too angry. They overshot. They'd come back. They should have caught up sooner.
And so because they're so far behind, everyone's a little bit upset.
Yeah.
Because
everyone's also upset because they think that Perrin slept with Berlain.
Yes, because Berlain is the worst.
Yeah. Yep.
And so then that's it. Then what's her face comes over with Balwer, who is a baller. Balwer the baller. I love Balwer. I'm so on board with this character. He's so petty, and I love it.
Yeah,
the fact
it's great.
That even he's still with this camp. much like he was with the White Cloaks, keeping up the like, oh, I'm not a spy. Hey, Perrin, can I talk to you one-on-one? And I'm like, dude, why are you, what is this pretense you're keeping up even here?
He's like, no, I'm a secretary. And Perrin, how dare you suggest anything else?
Perrin thinks it's hilarious, and so he's like, I'm humoring him. It's so silly.
Whatever. Yeah.
Love Balwer.
So we get 3 pieces of information. What was the order that we got them in? It's a good question. Do you remember which one came first? The first one's like not really that important, to be honest.
No, the 3 pieces are that Masema has been meeting with
That's the important one. Yes.
With the Aes Sedai. Masema has been sending people back to Altara. That those are the only 2 I remember. Is there a third thing?
Yeah, she literally says, okay, wait.
So the only important things are that Masema might be treating with the White Cloaks.
Yes. Okay, so first, least important, Javier reported Masema sent another rider back towards Amadicia, right? Which Balwer thinks is the White Cloaks.
Yes.
And Perrin is like, okay, it could be White Cloaks, but it also could be the Sanshin because we know that he's met with them before. Which I do think it's probably the Sanshin, considering what we get later. And then, yes, that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think? Like, here's my thing. What does Masema get out of working with the Sanshin?
Masema, I don't know. He's kind of described as crazy, and so I feel like puzzling out his reasonings for things they're not going to be straightforward. Like, it's going to be whatever the fuck he wants it to be in the moment because he's not well. Like he's not okay.
I just feel like by this point, Perrin okay. If Perrin were smarter, you have Masema be like, I'm not going to jump to Rand. I'm going to walk there. But I am willing to go through a portal to help you.
Because it keeps him away from Rand longer.
My thing is like, Perrin, open a portal to Rand, send Masema, go through it, and then just leave Masema there and like have Rand deal with him. Like the fact that because Masema keeps going through portal after portal after portal.
Yeah, but you can see what's on the other side of the portal. If it was suddenly fucking Kyrian or something, because here's the thing, Perrin also does not know where Rand is.
Lie.
Yes, but okay, then you would take an army of rabid dogs into a civilized area who would be upset that they've been lied to and go on an absolute killing spree.
No, I'm saying drop them off somewhere.
Where?
I don't know, like...
You're saying at Rand. They don't know where Rand is.
Just, like, put them in the middle of the waste. Like, literally just, like, drop them off somewhere.
Honestly, that's fair.
Deal with them later.
That's fair.
Like, you have these guys
Go throw them in Shara.
Literally just drop them on an island that they cannot get off of, and then come back to them later. Because you know you can get them to go through portals.
Yes, but they can see what's on the other side of the portals. That's the thing. You can't really mislead them.
It's the wilderness. There's snow everywhere. Fucking lie to them. Drop them off somewhere and deal with them later. But the idea that they can keep going through portals, and I'm like, fucking leave them behind. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I don't think it would work. Perrin is causing himself so many headaches by constantly bringing these people through portals, and then they're fucking killing people and stealing everywhere they go. Like
they're the worst,
They're causing problems, and I'm like, just send them to Rand.
Well, no. Here's what Perrin should have done. One of the Ashaman should have been sent to go find Rand, to bring Rand here, because Masema is not going to go willingly, right?
Another very valid suggestion.
Like, that's what I thought was going to end up happening, because Masema is not going to cooperate.
Drop Masema at the Black Tower, and have the Black Tower deal with them.
Yeah.
Andor is going to look like they're not far enough away from Andor that it's going to look that different. Just drop them off somewhere.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do think that they should have gone to go find Rand.
I'm just saying, by like the 20th time they've taken a portal together, I'm like, God, like, walk them through a portal into a prison and fucking leave. I don't know. Here's
the thing, though. That leaves Perrin with a lot less people, and there's a lot of Shido to deal with.
Yeah. So. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. So they so while he's looking at there are Darkhounds everywhere now. He's gone to see the tracks.
Well,
it's really bad. There's like
before that, we do get the conversation with Balwer. That happens before the Darkhound stuff.
Yeah, but it's like we talked about it. Like, it's not really.
Yeah, we know that the Aes Sedai are meeting with Masema, which is definitely very sketchy. And the one thing that I will say is that, like, Balwer really accepts Perrin at face value here, because Perrin is like, you've been trying to lead me to this decision for how long? Next time, just fucking say it. And Balwer's like...
Oh, yeah, that was interesting. That was really cool.
You know what? You're right. And when you're right, you're right. And I was like, okay, that was a good moment. That's why Balwer's... Yeah.
Yeah, I love Arzu. And you know what? I appreciated him being like my last employer. And Perrin was like, God, Mirandy's weird.
Mirandy's got some shady stuff going on.
At some point, Perrin is going to find out.
Oh,
and Balwer's going to be like, oh, no, he's like, oh, are you working for the White Cloaks? He's like, no, I want to kill all the White Cloaks. Perrin's going to be like, cool.
Cool. Right. We can work together.
Arzu, thank you for that super chat. I now want Masema's adventures in Shara, but they are not blind. They wouldn't go. I'm saying that you can trick them. It's not that hard.
I don't know how you would, right?
Because everywhere's covered in snow right now. Like, everything looks the same. Andor is not that far away. Drop them off outside Camelin. Be like, Rand, here's your problem. Deal with it.
But that's the problem. Then they go around killing villages and like, Perrin's not going to, like, condemn
They're doing that
people.
anyway, but they're doing it in a way that is actively stopping Perrin from accomplishing his goals.
I'm saying, that one's complicated. Timothy, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Thank you so much stopping by to say hello. We'll watch fully later. I will be at Jordan Con. Looking forward to meeting you guys.
Let's go. We're going to be there.
We'll see you there.
We have our tickets. We need to get a hotel room, though. We should do that today.
Good call.
You're a Toronto boy, too? What's up, T.O.? We in the 6?
No, I hate it.
But here's my point, though. Rand said, Perrin, bring Masema to me.
Yeah.
But
they don't know where Rand is.
But I'm saying, like...
But that's why I think... No, that's why I think before anything else, you send one of the Ashraman to go find Rand. I think that's what needs to happen first and foremost. So...
The hotel rooms are not available right now. Good to know.
Okay, thank you.
I'm saying, like, Rand said to do this thing. Drop them off with the Aiel outside of Camelin. The Aiel will keep them in line. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Soralia does not allow foolishness. I don't care how crazy Masema is.
Yeah.
Soralia will, and this is a Robert Jordan book, she will spank that boy until he pays attention and does what she wants.
Yeah.
I trust that woman to get him in line. Seriously, like there are solutions to his problems, but he is so focused on like just like hunting down the Shido that he's slowing himself down.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I don't think this whole situation and storyline is handled the best, but...
Monk says that Iowa just killed them all. That's fair, probably.
Honestly, they kind of deserve to die. They are murderers and thieves, so I'm kind of like not too mad about it, but yeah, Masema is a problem.
Yeah, but Masema Berlain shows up. She feeds Perrin. They're talking about the Darkhounds. He convinced everyone that there's Darkhounds. And she shows up and she's like, look, flirt with me. And he's like, I'm not going to fucking...
And she's like, no, seriously, take this basket. There's some shit inside. And
so she had her people steal a note from Masema's desk, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem like the furniture type of person, but that's fine. I get it. He's the prophet. And it is a note from the Empress...
No, from Suroth.
Oh, sure. But giving him the Empress's protection.
Yes.
Is what I meant.
Yes.
I don't understand what he gets out of working. Like him and the Sanchin. Here's the thing. Suroth is a dark friend.
Yeah.
Do you think Masema is a dark friend?
Quite possibly. Yeah. He's mad. He's described as mad. Perrin is like, this person is not well and is not being rational. Like, and that's why Perrin doesn't know what to do about him. Mm-hmm. Masema is fucked up. He could definitely well be a dark friend. He could not be a dark friend, and he could just be thinking that the Sanchin... you know what? I don't know. I do not know. Yeah,
the Suroth being a dark friend makes it complicated because...
Well, no.
You never know if the people interacting with her are on her team or not.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, here's the thing. Whether or not Masema is a dark friend, it benefits Suroth to protect Masema because Masema is sowing chaos, right? Which is what the Dark One wants. And, like, the people who claim to be Rand's people but are, like, really awful running around fucking shit up for people definitely is chaotic.
But here's my counterpoint to that.
Mm-hmm.
Suroth is also allowing this guy who has a not informidable force to operate on the edge of Sanchin territory.
Yes.
And if he is not a dark friend...
for the Sanchin to sweep through.
Or bringing it together to fight back against them, right? Like, if he's not a dark friend, it is a double-edged sword of... There is the opportunity that it is weakening the area around where the Sanchin are invading, Or when she tries to invade, she has propped up this person who can band these people together. And if Rand comes in and Masema believes what he says he believes, if he's being honest, then she has essentially allowed Masema to build up a force for Rand to use against the Sanshin. So if he's not a dark friend, it is a risky bet, right?
Yeah,
You're hoping that it's going to go one way, but it could go the other.
I guess that's why she reached out. I don't know. You know what? Kevin, welcome to the Nerd Table. Thank you for that.
And Timothy, thank you for joining the Nerd Table as well for 3 months.
Yeah, we got that one.
That
was about Jordan Con. Thank you.
Yeah,
if I'm being completely honest, I do not really know why any of this is playing out the way that it... Like, I don't understand the Masema Sanshin connection, but we will.
I agree with that 1,000%.
We'll probably get there.
But Masema, she's like, Masema's going to come and he's going to want this back. He's going to be pissed. And then he does.
He rides over with 300, potentially, people.
Because this is Sparta.
Yes. Yeah.
And Perrin is like, look, I don't have time for this. We'll deal with this later.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like, Masema's got points. There's a town that he wants to go, like, move into and raid, and there's food there, and, like, I get it, whatever. We don't have time for it. Because our boys come back, and Elias comes back, and he's like, I found her.
Found him.
And Perrin's like, cool, Masema, we'll deal with this later. I don't really care right now. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what happens, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's a chapter called Blacksmith's Puzzle. The Blacksmith's Puzzle is really hard to solve. It's cool, but like Perrin is like, he doesn't stick around long enough to care about what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's tension. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, I don't care. But I feel bad for the people of So Harbor because Masema's people are going to fuck up that city.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That was definitely a trap.
Yep. And so we go to chapter 8. Mm-hmm. Perrin and Elias and one of the maidens, they take a portal to the place where the Shaido probably are, and they climb up a little hill.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Arganda.
Oh, well, they also run into Sulin, which is very funny.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you have very sharp eyes.
You smell
see well. Yeah.
They're climbing up that hill.
Running up that road?
Yeah. And Arganda and the other older man are struggling a little bit because they're so used to riding that the hill it's a little bit too much for their older lungs.
Yeah.
They're like huffing and puffing. Sulin almost starts a fight, but thankfully Elias and Perrin can smell them. Which, like,
yeah, they like pop out of nowhere.
Perrin's sex life must be so, like, with a nose that strong.
Yeah, that would be...
Can you imagine going to an orgy with a nose that strong? Or, like, riding in an Uber with that much cologne?
Yeah.
If you're
it's a blessing and a curse, for sure.
If you're an Uber driver, I beg you, don't spray cologne in your car.
Please.
I'm allergic to it, and it kills me.
Please. It's awful.
And so they get to the top of this hill with the, I'm going to call it the amber spyglass, even though it's definitely not that.
Not that. Definitely not the crossover we need. That would be very confusing.
And they look down into the camp and see 70,000 people.
Yeah.
Guys, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? The number of Shaido who are alive and in this camp, and they're not all Shaido, I know, the brotherless and the Shaido who are left. Does it seem possible, after all of the things that have happened, for there to be this many Aiel here? Because it doesn't seem possible to me.
Here's the thing. If the Aiel had not been split up and fucked over by Samael, I would say, no, it's not impossible. There were a lot of them at Dumai's Wells, like... they did get their asses kicked, but like there were a lot of Shaido, but the fact that they were like splintered so badly and suddenly there's 70,000 of them back together again does seem like a lot.
They've been wiped out at Kyrian. They've been wiped out at Dumai's Wells.
Yes.
And then they've been split up.
And then Samael made sure that they all got fucked over.
It's like they come over this ridge and there's 70,000 of them, and I'm like, wait, what? How? Like, I wish that the number of them had been set up better earlier so that it didn't feel like they were like...
Well, we know there's like 200,000 of them back when they're crossing, when Drand is chasing them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we know that there are a lot of them. But yeah, they have been defeated several times.
But like the
70,000 seems a lot.
The Ashaman, like... erupted them. The Shido were their bodies were exploding on each other.
Here's the thing. Like 50,000 of those could be Gaishan. Because they have been running amok around the countryside, stealing every person who is not a blacksmith or who is an adult.
Yeah. And
not a blacksmith. So I do remember now before saying that there are more Gaishan than there are Aiel. So 50,000 of them could be slaves.
Which feels like it would be an easy fight to win, because once the fight starts, they're gonna fight the Aiel from within.
The Gaishan, no. Like Bane
they will.
No, Bane and Shiad won't even try to escape.
But the majority of the Gaishan are not Aiel. The majority of the Gaishan are Amadicians. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about people who don't give a shit about Jiatou, who are just being forced to. Once that fight goes crazy, those Gaishan are going to start fighting back. Yeah,
it does okay, now that I'm remembering that they're not all like Shido, I think that helps with my brain. But the fact that they were splintered in this way, and 10 have come back together, and another 10 are on their way.
Like, how are they even finding each other? And this is what's so crazy to me.
That I'm not sure. Like, they must have scouts running amok, all over Ranland.
But they don't know where they are. Like, they have no maps. Like, there's no...
That's true.
This idea that they've managed to find each other in the snow, a climate that they should barely be able to survive.
Yeah, we've established...
It's really strange to
me. I don't know if Robert Jordan understands cold the way that, like, I feel like I'm imagining the cold.
Memonk says Wise Women Dreamwalker, I would guess. The problem is that all of the Wise Women are with Savannah. They're, like, the other Seps don't have Wise Women with them. And also, there's 400 of them, which is crazy.
400 to 500, yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, but you're right. They said, like, all of the Wise Women are with Savannah. So I don't know how. So those other 10 Seps who are coming, you can find. Oh, that's true. That's true. You can visit non-Dreamwalkers' dreams. So that's true. They could let them know where they are.
Fair.
Yes. That is. That makes sense.
You know what?
Yeah. I think the problem with it is like picturing what 70,000 people looks like is just very difficult to begin with. Like, I just find conceptualizing that number of people to be hard at first. And so trying to imagine how all these people came back together after everything, definitely threw me off a little bit. But I'm glad that we've talked about this, because I'm like, oh yeah, a bunch of them are not Shido, a bunch of them are Gaishan that they've stolen from around the countryside. You know, it is a big area that they've been running around. So it is starting to make a bit more sense to me.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. I agree with what Chat's saying. There is. You know what? I'm glad we talked about it.
Me too.
Because it really bothered me when I was reading it. Because I was like,
holy shit, what?
But, like, y'all are talking me into it. I think it's more possible than I think.
Yeah.
But, like, but, like, 70,000 is, like, more than most NFL stadiums fit. Like, it's just so many people.
I don't sports ball, so, like, I don't...
The other problem, the other problem with it is feeding 70,000 people in winter with no farms is, like, a Herculean task.
Yeah, I don't know how they're managing it, but...
Robert Jordan doesn't understand winter in a way that, like, we're going to get to in the final chapter. But, like, this man genuinely does not understand how cold works in a way that is so funny as a Canadian who's grew up having to deal with this, like, winter weather that clearly he never did. Because it is unfathomably wrong.
I mean, the funniest part to me is, like, so many of them are in, like, silk, which doesn't...
Yeah.
Which would be very chilly.
It's so, like, Robert Jordan's concept of winter, like, I have to believe that Ranland is a fantasy world where human beings do not function the way real humans function.
Yeah.
Because his concept of cold is so...
It's different than our concept, for sure.
Yeah.
Us growing up in minus 40 degrees Celsius, like, that, you know, that feels different. And so when they're like, yeah, absolutely frigid temperatures, I'm picturing, like, minus 40 degrees, which there's no way you could be out with bare hands and Faye.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So our conception of winter is different than their winter.
But this idea that there are 70,000 people in the city in winter with and maybe there was food storage in the city and that's why they're stopping here.
Yeah.
But that they could be on the road in winter is just, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Like, how would that work?
Yeah.
That's so many people. If you are not accustomed, if you don't have a battle plan from day one, that's not something you like figure out on the way.
Yeah.
You have to be so prepared to feed and clothe and like keep 70,000 people alive in the cold in a way that like, I'm like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more like, like England winter, where it's like you get a little bit of snow. Actually, no, that's not true. They say the snow is up to their knees.
It's knee deep. Oh, no. We're talking like 3 feet of snow.
No, you're right. It doesn't matter.
It is not dusted on the ground. I like this.
Matter.
Samantha A says, it almost feels like Game of Thrones where people don't understand winter because it happens once every 20 years. I disagree with that. The books of Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin deals so much with what cold does to their society.
Yeah.
Like that's there is so much conversation in Game of Thrones about how winter affects every aspect of their society and how they literally like their whole society stops for winter.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we have to have this war over by winter or else like because there's nothing we can do. It's winter.
Yeah.
And the conversations about the clothes, the furs, and the ways that they keep warm are so built into that series. Like I think Game of Thrones does a really good job of treating winter as the enemy that it is to an army.
Yeah.
In a way that like the Aiel are running around, they're like, oh, we've got like 2 undersilks, so we're fine. And I'm like, no, you're dead. Like you're so screwed.
I wanted to ask though before I forget, who do you think the Darkhounds are actually hunting?
Slayer.
What?
Yeah.
You don't think Slayer is a dark friend?
No. I think that's or sorry, who are they after?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I thought they work. I think Slayer is like the head Darkhound.
Okay, interesting.
I think that they are after.
Like, who is more important than Perrin, right? Like, they completely ignore Perrin and they've been hunting for a long time. Do you think it's just Rand? Like, the Dark One is like, yeah, just keep running around until hopefully you run into Rand? Or do you think it's... I don't know. And that's why I wanted to ask, because...
I don't know. I think it might be the Shido. Oh, no. They're headed towards... I think the Darkhounds are headed towards Shadar Logoth.
No, but they've been hunting somebody for a very long time, right?
Rand. But he keeps teleporting, so these poor Darkhounds are running around the country trying to catch up with him because they can't teleport. And then they feel him go to the other country, and the wolves like turn around and they're like running again. They're like, fuck. They've just been in the middle of this like triangle that he's been teleporting around, just running in circles around this one area, being like, where? Stop moving.
Oh my god. That is very funny. I do enjoy that theory, but I don't think that's the case. But I also am not sure.
They could be after someone with the Shido. It's possible, right? Samael could have been sending them to finish off the Shido because he's like plan for them is done and he doesn't want them to gain more power because he'll have to deal with them later. Samael's dead now, but like that might have been a plan. I don't know. It could be literally anybody.
Yeah.
They could be after Matt. Matt is not too far away.
Yeah, I'm like, who is a bigger threat than Perrin? Because there's not many people. It'd be like Matt, maybe. Rand, definitely.
Yeah. Savannah. Savannah's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Forsaken might want her dead because...
Maybe they are just running around looking for Rand. It honestly could be that.
I don't know. It could be anything. I don't feel like I have enough information to make this is it. Because they ran a circle on Perrin's camp and then they left. Like, I don't know.
It's Moraine. She's back.
Moraine.
It's Moraine. That's it.
God, I 100%. Hope so. Guys, I hope Moraine comes back in this book. I want it. So then, yeah, Perrin is like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're kind of fucked. And we cut to Fael's point of view.
Yeah,
Oh, no. While they're up on the hill, the Perrin has like this crazy vision of Rand and Nynaeve.
Oh, because it's
going down.
Yeah,
I'm yelling
going
timber.
down. We went different songs, different.
And so yeah, Anura is like, this is crazy. We need to go there. And Perrin's like, no, Rand is going to deal with it. Don't worry about it. We got to be here.
Yeah.
Final chapter of this week's reading. We did it in 2.5 hours. Let's go. I was worried this was going to be like a 5-hour show, honestly.
Yeah, that would never happen.
This is, spoiler alert, my low. So the Shido have broken down enough that Fail is almost raped. And the protection of Gai Shan is gone, which makes the slavery of Gai Shan suddenly a lot worse.
A lot worse. Talmains, welcome back to the Nerd Table for 8 months after several years of long winters and impossible droughts. I just go with the Wheel of Time flow. What grows in 3 weeks?
We grows in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the being Gai Shan does not mean what it used to, which we already kind of that was into that,
Yeah, but
Savannah sucks.
Yeah, Savannah's the worst.
If you didn't know, Savannah sucks. The Shido suck. And yeah, Fail is almost raped by this 7-foot tall man, and is saved by Roland, who is the person who made her Gai Shan, who has been stalking her because he thought she was pretty, and now he also thinks that she's very cool as well as pretty, and wants to make her laugh.
Even though he's like, do you have a husband? Well, what happens while you're Gai Shan doesn't matter afterwards, so I'm going to try and have a relationship with you while you're Gai Shan, which for people who are not Shido is forever. So, yeah. Roland is so weird. And whatever the other guy's name is, Nadric is also...
Oh, that was... Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, but, this chapter got weird.
I know.
It got real weird. We learned that Allura and... What are their names? Who are the two that escaped? Lucille and Arella.
Chat does not like Roland either.
Roland is the worst? Yeah.
Yeah, it's awkward, because here's the thing, because...
Yeah, this just gets... the Gai Shan of it all is... kind of not the worst form of slavery because they're not taken advantage of. But once you take away that protection, suddenly it's just creepy and weird.
Well, and here's the thing. There is no way in Roland's head that he doesn't believe that Fail might get with him to use him to escape as well. There's no way that hasn't crossed his mind. And so he's very clearly in on the manipulation of it if he gets to fuck Fail, I guess. Weird. Didn't like it. I think that, Fail might end up using Roland to her advantage.
Yeah, I'm just worried that that's going to be a sexual relationship to use him, and that's going to hurt parent. Yeah. For a plotline that just feels so unimportant to the overarching series, this got so creepy so quick.
Well, and here's the thing, Roland, understands that the Shido suck.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Savannah sucks. And then a bunch of them are just there because I guess they can't leave, otherwise they'll get killed, I guess, maybe.
Colonel Sanders says, this is a great way to showing the moral fall of the Shido, though. I understand where you're coming from with that. My thing is that we already know that they've fallen off, and the Shido storyline has just kind of run its course. And so we're just kind of keeping it just is still going.
I think we're just already done with the Shido, and we were done with the Shido a book or two ago.
They've been beaten so many times.
But I understand what you're saying.
The fact that they're still 70,000 strong, and look, I could be wrong. This could be headed towards something that matters, but it just kind of feels like it doesn't.
Yeah.
In terms, I don't know what the Shido want. They're just causing harm to cause harm.
Savannah wants to marry Rand so that she can be top dog.
Sure, but we know that's not going to happen.
I know.
There's no... The last time the Shido were relevant to the major plot of the series was Dumai's Wells, and ever since then, they've just kind of been... It just keeps going. And it keeps going in a way that isn't relevant to a lot of main characters, isn't changing anything for anybody else, isn't and isn't headed towards a goal other than marrying Rand, which is just such a Savannah isn't making moves that push her towards that goal.
Yeah.
So I don't care, and we keep spending time with this storyline, and it keeps getting weirder.
Yeah, they get we're kind of done with the storyline. I hope that it resolves in this book, please. Shy go away. Yeah.
Well, and then so Fail is doing. Roland saves her from Nadric and carries the basket for her and is like, I want to make you laugh. And she's like, whatever, dude. I don't. Yeah.
Sure.
If it's going to help me escape, fine. And so while she's doing the laundry at the water pump system, which is really cool. Again, great world building. I love the idea that they couldn't live closer to the lake because of the mud. Yeah. And so they have this water pump system. Robert Jordan, really, really cool. I think it's really interesting and fun to read. And I was like, oh, I like this setup of this city. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But then Fael gets pulled away from that because...
Well, so she goes there. First, she goes there.
Yeah.
And she runs into is it Alejandra? Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're doing laundry, and she says that Morghese went to go steal the thing, the rod this morning.
From Thorava.
And hasn't come back. And then Galena shows up and is like, better get your shit together, and attacks, was it Alejandra or was it Fael? She grabs one of them, and one of Savannah's other Gaishan literally, like, grabs her and fucking throws down.
Yeah.
And is like, you want me to go tell Savannah that you've been assaulting her Gaishan? Yeah, we'll see how that's gonna go. So Galena goes away to lick her wounds, I guess. I don't know. She's kind of the worst. We already knew that.
She's a dark friend and a red.
But she shows up because she wants to come get Fael. She shows Fael that the two escapees have been captured again.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And they are naked
and hogtied.
In winter and hogtied. Which I'm like, they will die.
It's got to be like around 0 degrees. You know what I mean?
No, they're in knee-deep snow. There's no way it's 0 degrees.
That's why it's weird, yeah.
Well below freezing. And these women are hogtied naked.
Yeah.
Great. So then, what is this girl's name? Aravine.
Yes.
Aravine is evil, right?
What? Do you think so?
Aravine is 1,000% evil.
Oh, no, I think she's some kind of, like, nobility that was captured by the Sanchin, or not Sanchin, by the Shaido, and is like, this is my best chance out of here.
No way.
You think she's a dark friend?
Aravine shows up and knows Fael's last name.
Yeah.
How?
Well, if she's a royalty, she might know Fael.
But that Fael got married?
Oh, you mean the whole Perrin thing about it?
She says, Tybara.
Yeah.
Okay, but Fael and Perrin have been behind the Shaido this whole time. Yeah. They've been chasing them.
Yeah.
This woman shows up.
Oh, she said she overheard them.
They've been dropping... No, because they've not been using that last name ever since she got into camp.
I thought Fael was like, how do you know that name? And she's like, I've been eavesdropping.
I don't buy it for a second. I don't think she's been using that name. This woman is a dark friend who is 100% showing up being like, I know who you are.
I don't want her to be a dark friend.
Because Forsaken fucking told me. I'm trying... This woman is going to use helping her escape the Shaido to get next to Perrin.
I don't want her to be a dark friend.
Aravine is evil. I'm calling it right now.
Okay, I'm going to bet
the way she shows up...
You say dark friend, I say not.
All right.
Bet. Fucking bet.
I can't buy that this woman shows up, knows all this stuff, and like immediately swears to her, knowing that her oath doesn't matter because she's a dark friend. Nah, this woman is evil. And it's all a manipulation. So. She takes her over to these people and is like, look, see, I didn't reveal your secrets. Look at these naked women. Dark friend. Evil dark friend. It's too manipulative. But then they take her to... Aravine takes Fael in to see Savannah, because Savannah wanted to see her. And we find out that Galena has revealed that that Fael was hiding a knife.
Yep.
And so... Which, like, doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Especially if you want Fael to steal something for you.
Because now Fael is fucked. Like, Fael's not going to be able to pull off the thing that you wanted to pull off.
Yeah, now they're going to be keeping a closer watch on Fael. And so I feel like that was really stupid of Galena.
Yeah, I feel like... Because they were...
Unless it wasn't Galena.
It might have been Aravine. She's evil. But here's the thing. I think that it was Galena. And I think that Galena really messed up because I think that Galena was under the impression that the girls were not doing it, but they were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, Megden doesn't get the thing. Megden shows, before we get into the final bit, which I'll have things to say about. Megden does show up to the laundry basket place, but doesn't, at first I was like, oh, she must have got the rod, but she didn't.
No.
But I guess she got away because Thorava...
Because the moment that Rand and Nynaeve started doing the thing...
Yeah.
Like, kind of threw Thorava off. Yeah. Yes.
Josh says, I just remember like 2 months ago, you guys kept talking about how you wanted more Perrin and Fail. Yes, I want Perrin and Fail together.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want them to be doing things together.
Yes.
I do want more Perrin and Fail. I want this storyline with them to be over and them to move on to something that puts them back in the direction of everybody else seems to... Well, but Matt also kind of is like, just kind of like spinning his wheels. Yeah. I want these characters to get on plot points that feel like they're moving towards a conclusion.
Yeah.
Rather than just kind of like, it took 4 books to get Matt out of Ebu Dar. It has taken 4 books for Perrin and Fail to deal with whatever's going on. Like,
which we've said a few times, so, you know, I feel like that point is very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is what it is. It looks like a lot of chat also does not love the storyline, so we're not alone here.
So let's get to the end of it. Savannah and Thurava punish Fail by tying her naked and hogtied to a table outside overnight in winter, which is...
Like I said, it's got to be like 0 degrees.
It doesn't make sense. It is so weird. And like... Which sets up the weirder part that we're getting to. But, like, this is where Robert Jordan does not understand how winter works. She would not make it 3 hours. She would be dead.
Yeah.
You cannot survive naked outside in winter overnight. It's just not possible.
Not in Canada.
All of the Aiel should be missing fingers at this point. Most of them should be missing feet. Like, they're wearing porous... They are literally wearing porous boots that get wet, which means their feet would get frostbite. They would all be dead.
Yeah, from our understanding of winter, yes, we just have to believe that this is a fantasy world where there can be 3 feet of snow at like moderate temperatures.
I know I need to give up on this. I know it needs to stop bothering me, but like it is so unrealistic.
Yeah.
That it like baffles the mind.
Yeah.
I survive
understand.
like this.
I understand. I'm not thinking about it too hard because there's just no way.
I know. I know. I need to move on. But, like, the punishment is like, oh, no, you're going to be naked all night outside, hogtied. And
Roland shows up and is, like, massaging her naked body.
Well, first of all, I was like, can I hang out? And she's like, shh.
I guess, sure. Yeah.
And then he puts hot coals under her to, like, keep her warm. Which, like, yeah, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
She's still dead. Like, that would not be enough to keep you alive. Like, your lungs would... She's dead. But then he crawls on top of her, drapes himself over her naked body, and starts rubbing her out. And I'm like, this is so... Robert Jordan... First of all, why is this where we ended the reading this week?
Look, Robert Jordan has some rope kinks. Like, he definitely is into shibari. Like, there is no way.
This is straight up a porno in the weirdest way. And, like, the fact that at the beginning of this podcast, go back, and people are like, why are you guys making this so sexual? What fucking Wheel of Time did you guys read?
Yeah.
This woman is getting a naked hog tie massage from a man who wants to steal her from her husband. Like, this is the kinkiest fucking weird shit ever.
Oh, 100%. 1,000%. Like,
and people were complaining that we made it sexual.
Yeah, guys, we did not make this series kinky. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Sex Monkey said roasted falcon is my favorite holiday dish.
Yeah.
Roland's just hungry, okay? All right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we leave off.
That's it. That's we literally ended the reading this week, and I was like, fuck, we need to add a chapter because like this is weird. Yeah. See, sorry, if you make things kinky and sexual when they aren't, sure. She is hog-tied nude and he is rubbing her thighs. What?
Yeah.
And he has explicitly said, look, if Roland had not explicitly said that he was attracted to her and didn't care that she was married, it would be infinitely less weird.
Yeah.
If he crawled on top of her and was like, look, you're gonna die if I don't do this, it would be less weird. But him being like, can I rub you out while I try and find a way to make you laugh because I think that you're very attractive, that is what makes it weird.
Yeah.
He's
putting in the work.
Him trying to save her life, if it was practical and he mentioned it being a practicality, it wouldn't be weird.
Yeah.
It is the fact that he wants her, has said that, and is like making it about him trying to make her laugh.
Yeah.
This is weird. I'm sorry. This was a really weird place to leave off this week.
Yeah.
And like I was getting a little. I had taken like a gummy to like get high and go to sleep, and so I was like starting to feel that kick in as I read this, and I was sitting there like, what the fuck, Robert, why?
Yeah, it was pretty smutty.
I don't know how to add smut. Like I don't know how to add sexier than hog tie massage.
We're also like this far through the book. Like these are like we have so much less reading to get through for the next couple sections. So thank you for sticking through this long chunk.
Yeah, it was a lot of reading.
Yeah, it was. But honestly, like I think that it gave us enough to talk about for the book club. I think that, you know, from what people have said, this book is a little bit slow. So it works out. But
yeah. No, it's just it was interesting, but
Crossroads of Smut.
It was interesting, but not full of momentum. And I think that like Robert Jordan has serious momentum issues in his writing.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of over-explaining. I think there's a lot of repetition. Like I think that Robert Jordan needed an editor who wasn't his wife. And I think I don't, maybe people will disagree with me on that, but I really do feel like
they were going through some horrible shit together. I do think they should have probably had an outside perspective. Yeah. And I don't want to discredit that, like, you know, Robert Jordan was dying and like that's awful. But I think that they should have had an outside editor as well. Just in addition to, I do think that would have, if I think that were the case, this section would definitely be different, and by section I mean these couple books. Yeah, for sure. So you know, he was very sick and dealing with those health issues. So that is unfortunate and something to take into consideration. But yeah, I definitely do think they should have outsourced that.
No, none for you says no, not sexy at all. I'm not saying that it's sexy. I'm saying that it's and that's sexual. Your next comment. It's very sexual.
Yeah.
It is not sexy. I do not find this sexy because sexy implies that I like it. I find this gross in a sexual way that I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like reading it.
Yeah.
Because and it doesn't. We keep ending up in these weird sexual situations that don't like change the plot, or that don't like, because our characters don't change from them, they never really feel all that important. The only sexual situations that have felt important to the plot are Rand's.
Yeah.
And Perrin and Faile. Like the ones that he writes that feel important to the plot are the good ones. Mm-hmm. And the negative ones are always kind of like shrugged off.
Yeah.
And moved on from.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna write stuff like this, I feel like I want you to make it important, because making it unimportant and weird makes it weirder.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I just read this just because it was like a thing you thought to put in the book. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. It just for myself, and it sounds like for you, it doesn't really serve a purpose.
And maybe the Roland stuff will, but like I don't want to read fucking Faile has a weird sexual relationship behind Perrin's back while she's a slave. Like that's an especially because it's like the 19th, like it's not an important plot point. Unless the Shido have a huge part to play in the last battle, which I don't know how they could, but if they do,
I don't know.
If they are not a huge part of the final battles of this series, and this is just a plot line you have to get through to get Perrin back to being relevant to the actual plot of these books, and you add in all of this weird sexual slave stuff into that section, and it's not a main plot, it just becomes this weird like background detail. And I just think that like making your readers feel uncomfortable for background details isn't worth it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I will agree with that.
I think so. I think everyone's gonna have their mileage may vary on that, but like I am of the mind that if you're going to write this kind of uncomfortable material, it has to be wildly intentional. And the less intentional it feels, the more it just feels like
you were just like a self-insert in a weird way. Like I don't like that. I don't want that to be the case. You know? Yeah,
I don't. Yeah. It just makes me. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason for this, but like I don't really. Yeah. It's a little bit weird, but we got some really cool information about the Darkhounds.
Yeah.
And them and the like kind of like behind the scenes going on of what's up with Masema, that stuff, all very interesting. Matt and Tuon, that section was very interesting, and there was some good stuff in the prologue. So there's definitely cool information here. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of active moving forward of plot, but definitely like breadcrumbs. So
my question to you, Clarus, based on how this book begins, what do you think the end goal of Crossroads of Twilight is?
I think Crossroads of Twilight has to be to get the fucking Shido shit out of the way, right? Okay.
So you think this is going to be a lot of Perrin and Fael stuff?
Yeah, and I hope that Matt runs into them.
Oh, interesting. That would be fun.
I don't know, but not like super close on the map.
It's close enough.
Well, no, Ebu Dar is way down there. Where are the Shido again?
All right.
No, I think they might be too far away because they're
pull up the map and let's take a look at this. Okay, so currently Matt is like here.
Ebu Dar.
Yeah, and Perrin is here.
Is he?
He's in here. Yeah, no, they're really close to each other. Perrin, this is So Harbor right here.
Oh, So Harbor. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, they're not that far away.
Oh no, Malden. That's where the Shido are. Malden. Yeah. Oh, it's on the map. So yeah, so like Matt, and they're really close to each other.
They could run into one another. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's okay. I can see that happening potentially.
So Furyk and his people, are all these fights going to come together?
I don't know.
Because we know that Furyk is after them. He's after Matt. Mm-hmm. Although, like, that's another thing is, like, how is Furyk going to find them? Like, what possible leads? The Shanshin do not know where they are. They don't know the country they're in.
Yeah.
What leads could they? Well, I guess they have Melon, who is an Aes Sedai and maybe knows the country, but like.
I just feel like with the visions that Perrin and Matt keep having about Rand and kind of one another as well, like when they think about the other people, like that they have to be coming together at some point.
They're so close to each other. Let's pull the map up again. They're all really close physically. This is the closest.
Like pulling out the map, don't you?
But this is the closest they've been physically the entire time, right? Because Rand is only right.
Where is Rand? I actually don't remember.
Shadar Logoth is somewhere on this road. Aradhal. So he's up here.
Okay, so they're
all like far in this, but they're not that far from each other. Compared to when Rand has been like down here or over here, you know what I mean?
Bouncing around. Yeah. I would like this book to bring the three of them together. That would be fun for me.
I would like that as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah,
we shall see where that goes. Where do you think it's going?
I have no idea, and I think that 260 pages into a book, I should.
That's fair.
And so I think that. This book, thus far, this book has not introduced anything new, and I think that is
new. Well, I guess you could consider the Aradoman stuff like new.
Not, but we already knew that.
What do we mean?
Like there's no new plot in the first 26 pages.
For our main plot, yes.
Not even for side plots. We are still this book. Is 260 pages.
Yeah.
That is mostly repetition of information that we got from the last three books, and the slight progression of storylines that have been going on for books now.
Yeah, but we got good information.
Sure, but there is nothing. There's interesting information.
Yeah.
But none of it is moving forward. This was 260 pages of
we talked about
wheel
that.
spinning.
Yeah.
And there's nothing new here, and so I'm hoping that they bring something up so that characters have something to do. But like, this is just kind of we're just kind of in this weird place with these books, and I know we're gonna get out of it, and I know we're gonna get past it.
Yeah.
But I do understand why Chad is like, you just have to get past this, because that's what I feel. I feel like I'm waiting for this to end.
This is gonna be the prologue to the next book. This is gonna be the setup for the next book.
Yeah. And I think that's unfortunate. I think that I think that it is what is. It is a shame to me that so much of what I think is negative about the Wheel of Time as a whole is packed so densely together in one section of it. Because the first six books are this masterpiece that I love so much that I want to get to the end, but I'm really struggling to care right now. About anything that is happening.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who said that this is like around this time is where they fell off, and like I understand.
And I'm not going to stop. Because I still love the characters. I still want to keep reading. Like I'm going to probably read today. You know what I mean? Like I still love the series.
Yeah.
But and Winter's Heart, I think the last like third of Winter's Heart is really good. But the slog is real in my opinion, and it is a lot of Robert Jordan over-explaining, repeating, and just refusing to like let the plots have any resolution. Like, it's just more introduction, more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
To the point where it bounces around too much. And I don't know where we are. I don't know when we are. And, like, the books don't even feel like they're moving forward, because this book, everything we've read so far happens before the end of last book.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I'm struggling. The thing that makes me want to keep reading is book club.
Yeah.
And, like, doing this with you guys has made it fun. And, like, coming up with jokes and things that I'm going to, like, mention on book club is what is keeping me going right now.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to get through it. I still love it. You know what I mean? But I just don't love it in the moment.
Yeah. The story as a whole, I believe very strongly that when we get to the end, the story will be beloved as a whole. But, the fact of the matter is we are going through it section by section. And so we are going to have perspective of only up until we have in that moment. And, we might reflect back differently at the end. Who knows? Tom Jones, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table.
Mm-hmm.
When my friends and I read this book, we joke you could skip right to book 11 and not notice. Still kind of feel that way. We'll let you know what we think.
Oh, no.
We will let you know what we think.
Oh, no, don't tell me that.
At the end.
Please just stick with the pod. Guys, I promise you that no matter how frustrated I get, the pod will keep going.
Yeah.
And eventually, it'll be good again.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm worried. I don't want people to think that, like, the show is bad because I'm not having fun with the book. But I don't know how to make the show super fun for chat when like there's just stuff that I'm like, guys, this kind of isn't good.
Yeah. Our first and foremost thing has always been honesty.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, we could just kind of like skip over.
No. I want to do all of it. I want to have other than those 5 pages that I did skip.
No, I mean skip over, like, when in the show, we could just skip over what we didn't like, but then you guys would complain that the podcast wasn't long enough.
People are like, 2.5 hours. This is so short.
I'm kidding.
Arzu, thank you for that super chat. Knife of Dreams is RJ at his best. Trust us, we will get to a point in the series where you are screaming joy and heartbreak in every section. And I think that it's going to be worth it.
I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. Pudaddy also says, we want your honesty, and I think that a lot of you people do, but to be completely fair, we have had people comment on the book club and leave because they don't like that we talk about the negative stuff as well. Yeah. And that sucks. That sucks. I hope some people come back for when when it is all fun and games and positive again. But I don't want I don't want to never not be honest because it's more comfortable for people.
Perry Wolf, oh my god, can you imagine if we were doing this like 2 chapters at a time like the Wheel reads? I would, because they've got years of this ahead of them.
Oh my god, someone please let them know that they're going to want to speed up a little for this
They have to do this for years.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so glad we chose 4 weeks a book. I want to save. I want to save them from it.
There was a time when we talked about 3 weeks for this book. Mm-hmm. However, that is just a lot of pages to read.
Let's get through these super chats and let's get back to it.
Of course.
Perry Wolf says, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you.
A lot of people here would like this book broken into 3 parts instead of the usual 4, something to think about. I feel like we've already put out the schedule and it changes our schedule before JordanCon, so I think we're going to stick with the schedule as is because of where our days off before JordanCon land.
We'll
put out the full schedule before JordanCon so you guys understand why we don't want to change it.
Because...
And also, one of the shorter weeks of reading now, we're on vacation. And so what the book club will happen because we come back Thursday night, but we're going to be in Denver skiing all week. And so we don't have a lot of reading time. And so I think giving us more reading will make that week harder.
Yeah. We have worked out our reading schedule from now until JordanCon and spaced it out in a way that sets us up really nicely for JordanCon, that we're not in the middle of something. So that's... But we did think about speeding up this book. James Ross, thank you so much for the super chat.
Just a quick word of encouragement. It's better to suffer together than alone.
Yes.
We're still having fun and we love the honest relations. Thank you, James Ross. I'm glad you are.
We appreciate that. It is nice to hear.
And Storm, do you thank you for that super chat?
Thank you.
You don't need to apologize for feeling disappointed by this book. I think most people are. I don't feel disappointed by it. I just am a little bit confused.
I mean, we're only this much.
I know, but I just am a little bit confused. I'm more confused by it. I feel like it's this weird thing where it feels like Robert Jordan got worse at writing as the books went on, and I don't know, it's so strange to me because the first 6 books are so unbelievably good.
I'm excited to get to Knife of Dreams.
I'm still, despite the fact that I'm not enjoying this book, I still want a Wheel of Time tattoo. It's not, these books aren't bad enough that like I'm like, oh wow, this is terrible. It's confusing because he was so effective for so long that the falling off from that effectiveness, it feels weirder as a reader because I'm like, is this the same guy that like wrote The Shadow Rising, which I think is like in contention for the best fantasy book ever.
Yeah.
It is just it's more just like it's like weird. It's like this whiplash of like what changed that made that guy stop doing the things that were so successful that I think make Wheel of Time like one of the great fantasy series. Where did he lose his way? It's not like George R. R. Martin. George R. R. Martin's books were always too expansive and confusing, right? There was always too many plot lines. There was always too many directions it was headed in. This didn't feel that way for 6 novels, and then it just is like...
Yeah, 1,000%.
And that's what's weird about it, is the element of it that I'm like, he was so effective for so long. What happened?
Yeah, I think maybe the scope of it just got out of hand, and you know, shit happens, you know.
Michael Kieski, thank you for that super chat. Hey, I dare you not to mention the super chat or thank me at all. Dare failed.
I was like, are you gonna read it? I was just gonna let it go. Chandra, welcome back to the Nerd Table for 8 months. Thank you. Wonder how much of the slog is RJ dealing with his health and not resolving stories because he didn't want to give up on life and want something to live for.
Maybe.
You know, it's not something that we'll ever really like know. And so that is a tough one to think about, but it is important to remember what Robert Jordan was going through at this point, you know?
Tom Jones, thank you for that super chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to send you negative. The last 4 books are wild, why the payoff is worth it. I don't feel like...
No, Tom Jones, you're great. Thank you for that super chat.
Then I don't mind negativity. Y'all, you can call me an idiot. You can call me names. Don't call other people in chat names. That's where I draw the line. You can say whatever you want to me. It was the people who were commenting, not negativity, but were like, you know what, I don't enjoy the show anymore. That was what was tough for me. Because that felt honest, like I wasn't putting on the show that people wanted, and this is entertainment. Like it's a 3-hour show on a Friday to entertain people, and I want people to have a good time. Mm-hmm. And those were the comments that made me the hardest. You can say mean shit to me, you can call me whatever you want. I'll fight back. But it was the people who were like, you know what? Like I just feel like the show isn't good anymore. That those are the ones that hit me hard. Yeah. Because it's like it's not about being mad at my opinions or disagreeing with me. It's about this not being fun. And I want this to be fun because I don't want people to feel like they wasted their time on this. Like, I want this to be a place where we come together and feel community. I don't know.
Yeah, and there are some people that I understand that, you know, they look for entertainment as an escape. And so if the thing that they love is talked about in a negative way, I can understand not that being your content, and that's okay. I do hope some of those people come back when we get into the later stuff because I think we are going to enjoy it, but... It is a tough balance. It is a tough balance because we don't want people to not be having a good time when they're here, and it means the world to us that you guys spend your Fridays with us.
It does, yeah.
Like every week, like I really cannot express what that means. I look forward to book club every week, and we love it, and we're so excited for Jordan Con. Yes,
we are. We are so excited, guys. We're gonna make it special. I have an idea for what I want to give out, and it's gonna be special. And I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We want to create something for everyone.
Yeah.
I just want to create things for people that make them happy.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
We got some cool ideas that we're looking forward to, but we have to do our high-low.
Yes.
We didn't do that.
High-low. Siddhikantha says, react to Iga, movie by RR's director. Guys, if you want more Indian movie reactions, come back next Saturday. We're going to do Bahubali Part 1.
Yeah.
So that's a little tease. But tomorrow, the reaction is going to be Glass Onions. The Knives Out story.
Yeah, we reacted to Glass Onion. That'll be on the
Eastern Time
channel tomorrow. And if you're here, please like the video. There's no reason to
Jason Trainer, how dare you? How dare you call me a cotton-headed ninny muggins?
The worst insult of them all.
I also love that the automod caught that. Did it think that you were like trying to find a sneaky way to say the N-word?
Maybe. Sometimes it does that. Our auto moderation level is like very, very high.
Yeah, cotton-headed ninny muggins is an interesting one. But how dare you?
Yeah.
You know that I was once a Buddy the Elf. I think it's because it's like Ninny Muggins plus Cotton. I think that there's a way that like I can see how the auto moderator got to that might be racist.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, our auto mod is like very strong.
Yeah.
It's very aggressive, which is fine.
Yeah.
Just we make the mods.
No,
work.
It has to be.
Oh, I know.
Some people write some shit that's like...
There's some shit out there. No, you're right. But,
yeah, and like the kill the gays stuff recently has been weird. I've been deleting a lot of look, guys, I get that we're both bisexual, but please stop commenting that you want to kill us because we're LGBT. Like, that's fucking
there's no effort put into that. Like, if you want to throw shade, be creative at least. That one's just I'd put no thought into this, you know?
Yeah, the anti-LGBT stuff on our not in the live chat, but comments on our videos has been going up lately, and I've been deleting a lot of comments about it.
Yeah.
And I don't love it. But that's life. That's being on the internet.
YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah.
Y'all, shall we do high-low?
Yes, we should.
Sorry, y'all, I didn't mean to bring that up. It's just been a lot lately. There's been a lot of comments about anti-LGBT stuff on our videos lately.
Yeah.
And just a weird thing that we deal with. But I delete it and
Also, if somebody comments on your comment on a video saying you won something,
yes,
it's a scam. Yeah. I feel like we should have brought this up in the live before. I keep forgetting.
We've talked about it.
Oh, we have. Okay. Guys, it's a scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam. It's always going to be a scam. It's definitely 100, 1,000, 10% a scam. If we do any giveaways or anything, they'll be in the Discord. If that were ever a thing.
If we do giveaways, it will be mentioned in the video verbally by us.
Yeah. Those comments are scams. Please stay safe. God, yeah.
And also, if you
don't use Telegram.
If you live in Quebec, please know that none of our giveaways will ever apply to you. So if you live in Quebec and you get those comments, I'm sorry.
It's a scam.
It is not our fault. Your government makes it impossible to do raffles and giveaways involving people from Quebec.
Yeah.
So if you do live in Quebec, you are not welcome to anything we give away.
Yeah.
Because Quebec makes it so weird.
I know.
Literally.
I know.
I can give a free thing to someone in Denmark easier than I can give a free thing to someone in Quebec. It's so strange.
I know. I don't.
High-low. Let's go.
Understand.
This is a thing that we do at my dinner table. In growing up, and we celebrate each other's highs and we commiserate over each other's lows, brings us together as a family. I feel like we're a Wheel of Time family.
Wheel of Time
and
family.
So Clarus, what's your high of the week?
Watt fam. I want to make a t-shirt that says Watt fam.
It's probably a thing already.
It's probably a thing. You're right.
Yeah.
My high, interesting. I think my high is going to be, I think I'm going to try and choose a different one than what I think your high is going to be.
I guarantee you will not know what my high is going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to go with the moment that Tuon looks at Matt and is like, Arthur Hawkwing's face, and Matt is like, ah! And I was like, what is happening? And I love that moment. I thought it was very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is my high. Because I was like, she knows something that we don't know yet, and I'm excited to find out what that is.
Cool. Yeah, no, I dig that.
What's your low?
My low is Roland Emmerich. He's such a talented director, but he just keeps making the same disaster movie over and over and over again. And he peaked, you know what I mean? And I wish Roland Emmerich would move on to something new, and use his incredible skills. Because look, Moonfall was not good. It was a bad movie. I was really disappointed by it. It does fall into the so bad it's good kind of category, which is surprising for a movie starring Halle Berry. But so I went way too long. No, Roland. The Roland situation. I don't like it. I don't need to read about how now the Sanshin are just
this shadow.
Or sorry, the Shido have now added raping Gaishan into their culture. It's just.
I know. Yeah. I don't love it.
Don't now I'm love it. Fuck. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's enough of that in this books already. The fact that we keep introducing more, it just keeps getting weirder.
Yeah. My low is the 5 pages that I was forced to read before Balwer spoke again in the parent section. Because I was like, there's got to be something useful in here. And I was like, no. Okay. That's my low.
Yeah.
What's your high?
Wait, Albino wins. Best comment. My high is Albino's comment. Roland is more Roman Polanski than Roland Emmerich. Well done. Albino, you have to be such a film nerd to know what... And you don't have to be that much of a film nerd. They're all famous situations. But, fucking well done. That is a great comment.
If you say so.
You have no idea who Roman Polanski is, do you?
No.
Roman Polanski is not allowed in the United States of America because he has been charged with sexual assault. But he still makes movies in Europe, and people still go see them because he's an auteur. Roman Polanski can go fuck himself. That is a man that I would not be sad if he was found in a ditch.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But
I learned so much stuff in book club.
Yeah, fuck that guy. My high, this is going to be so weird, but my high is in the prologue, in the Yakiri section, that when they're talking, and I wish I knew her name. Wait, the one who joins them at the end of it, and she like walks up and she's like, I found out some shit about the Black Aja, and Yakiri's like, what? Shut up. We're not talking about the Black Aja. And she's like, they can't fucking touch me. That woman was my high of the whole reading this week. Because she's like, I don't fucking care. I'll say Black Aja in the hallway. And I was like, you say Black Aja in the hallway, girl. Let's go. Let's go. She's like tits out, ready for a fight. And I was like, I was feeling it.
She's probably tits out.
I fucking loved, I just love that moment where she's like, "No, I'm gonna fucking talk about it. I don't care."
I love that.
I was into it a lot.
And honestly, the stuff in the White Tower with the whole Black Aja and them figuring that out, very interesting. Definitely want more of that.
I would read that whole book, right? Like I would read a whole book where they're like, "Look, this book cuts away from everything else, and it just is an investigative mystery set inside the White Tower." Mm-hmm. That might be a D&D campaign we run in the future because it's fucking awesome, right? Like, it's so fun.
That'd be fun.
Like an alternate universe wheel, because I want to do Wheel of Time D&D, guys. Once we've read all the books, I want to launch a show that's a Wheel of Time D&D campaign. Yeah. That's set in an alternate world so that we can kind of play with whatever we want. And one of the storylines that I think I definitely want to do now is solving a murder mystery inside the White Tower. That is a fucking great plot. I just wish we spent more time with it because it's so good.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. That's our high-lows. If you would like to share your high-low in the Discord, please feel free. Please feel free to come join the Discord. Keep it civil, keep it nice, keep it informative and discussive, not aggressive and patronizing. That is important to us.
Be nice in there or you will get banned. I don't care, guys. That's our community space. It's a positive space. If you can't keep it friendly, then you're not being a community member and we'll kick you out. I don't care.
And if you are going to be at JordanCon, go to the Discord in the announcements tabs and just react to the message that I put there. Just go react to it so that we have an idea of the number of people who might be interested in a panel or discussion or thing that we do. I guess I don't know how to say that. Please go react to that so we can get an idea of numbers.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be fun.
And with that, if you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me in comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, the algorithm goddess is, I'm gonna give it to Fail, and the food that we're feeding her is soup because she's cold. And we don't want her to die. She's naked absolutely. And she needs warmth.
100%. You can follow us around the internet.
Yeah, I'm at nerdynightly.
And I'm at Claris Polaris.
For those of you who don't like Smut Corner, goodbye.
Bye.
Where would you add sex into this?
You know what? I really just wish that our White Tower gals would host an orgy with everybody there. And so you can suss out who's Black Aja, who's hanging out with one another, who's pillow friends. I really think that this is an opportunity that they could use to gain information to help further their investigation. I think an orgy is a perfect place for that.
They also throw the orgy to get everyone into a room so that they can search the rooms because everyone's busy at the orgy.
Good call.
It's a good time to,
Yes. Absolutely, guys. I think that this is the plot line that is desperately missing.
It sounds like the plot of some college sorority pornos that I've seen.
Do you think Aleda's invited?
I don't think she's invited, but I think that Alviarin brings her with one of those puppy masks and a collar and a chain.
No! Oh my god. Poor, no, you know what? Aleda fucking sucks. I was like, poor Aleda. She's in a rough spot, but also she brought this on herself, so...
Yeah, but she was manipulated by the dark, too. That's complicated.
It is complicated. And those foretellings, I think, they do a number on you, right?
Yeah. I think I think that I want to see Dira, fully injured, be like, Davram, we're having sex. And he's like, you're
everybody out! Take your pants off.
She's got a bandage. She's bleeding. She's like, I don't care. I'm horny.
Yeah. We're doing this right now.
We're doing this right now.
Right now. Everybody leave.
Dira just seems like the type that's like, oh, man, beating the shit out of those guys and surviving a stabbing got me so hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally see that. 100%.
I don't think they have sex. I think that she's like, look, I'm going to lie down. I'm going to take it easy, but you're going down on me while I'm in pain.
I would really like an orgasm right now. Can you please work on that? Thank you, husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, that was a good one. I think those were our contributions.
Yeah. It's hard to add much else, right? Like Matt, because Matt and Tuon aren't there yet.
No.
Although Matt and Aludra, I feel like while he's in that circus, Matt is sneaking away to Aludra's camp her tent a little bit.
They kiss.
They haven't had sex yet, but like they're doing like chest stuff now.
Chest stuff.
Yeah, there's some nipple play going on. There's some that like, you know when you're like 15 and you're like with someone who's like a virgin and you're like, well, you can't touch me below the belt, but you can like play with my tits. It's like a weird like concession game.
Yeah.
I feel like Aludra and Matt are playing like weird concession games.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Matt marries Tuon, but falls in love with Aludra.
That would be wild.
I think there's like a marriage of convenience, but Aludra is his like consort.
Well, because Tuon's not his type, right? He likes boobies and thicker women, which it likes to express a lot to the audience. I could do
without him constantly like skinny shaming women, but
yeah, like we get it. You have a type, and that's okay.
He doesn't want to fuck a fence post. Which like also I don't either. Splinters in my penis would not be pleasant.
No, that's not. We don't have inanimate object.
It is wild that people had wooden dildos for like decades.
I know.
Can you imagine getting a splinter in your asshole?
No.
How would it come out?
Like, no. There's no way. I would not have, wouldn't have touched it.
Can I tell a really inappropriate story?
Well, anyone who doesn't want to be here already left for Smut Corner, so you can probably say what you want. All right,
since this is Smut Corner, we're gonna go real dirty here. So if you're not down for a funny story,
leave now.
So a few years ago, my friends and I used to have a Super Bowl party every year for the Super Bowl, obviously. And
what?
We were there, and a girl showed up to the party, and she was like, hey, to this guy at the party who was hosting, can we go to your room really quick? I need you to help me with something. And they were not sleeping together, but they were really close friends, like best friends.
Okay.
And they were in there for a while, and there were some very strange noises, like some just like really, really weird noises. And so when
I actually don't know this story.
They finally came out, she was like, I needed him to help me because I had been playing with Benoit balls earlier.
I don't know what that is.
They're you put two of them inside you. They're a sex toy. Okay. And I was only able to get one out, and I couldn't get the other one. And so I knew that he had small hands, and so I needed him to help me get the Benoit ball out of me. And he did not know that she was going to tell us all what was happening in the room. I think that he thought it was going to remain a secret.
And he was like, oh my God.
Horribly embarrassed.
Yeah,
we're all sitting there laughing our asses off.
Fair.
And she and I had been sleeping together. And so I think people were like, why didn't you get... And she was like, oh no, his hands are very large.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is a true friend. You know what I mean?
That is a true friend.
That is a true friend.
And I was like, I don't know how I could have helped, because I'm not about to like, I got big hands. Like I can only get so, deep.
All right.
It was so, God, it was one of the funniest things that's ever happened in my life.
No, not like Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Benoit balls.
Perry Wolf, they were at a Super Bowl party where, like, she was probably the only woman there.
No. There were plenty of women.
Okay. I was making a joke.
But no,
they were just good friends.
Yeah, he was her closest friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Like in the world, like they were like so tight, it was unbelievable. It was the right choice, But
well, this has been 3.5 hours. Thank you for ending with story time.
3 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah.
Story time with Nerdy.
How good are you with chopsticks? No, speaking of splinters, oh my God, what a way to end this. Wow.
Don't like it.
Do not stick chopsticks in your hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Do something nerdy, y'all.
That's what we're going out on.
Bye.